Hey guys, trigger warning for what we're about to show you.
Hey, trigger warning for what we're about to show you. What's up with everybody? Happy Sunday. You're a pot stir? Yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. Yes. Let me pull that up real quick just so we can have a visual to go with that. Allegedly. Let's see. Pot stirrers unite. Just saying. Okay, it's 20 seconds long. Let's not do that. Anyways, or we can have this one. Pot stirrers unite. Welcome in, all pot stirrers. Welcome in. Welcome in. Anyways, I am doing all kinds of things right now. Turns out, let's see. Sorry, I've been working on this. It's hard. Okay, it's hard. These people are they're so extra, and so like the information just never ends. And I mean, you guys know that if you've been around, you know that. Oh, good, Donna. Good to see you again. Yeah. PSU, Pot Stirrers Unite, and stirring pots for the rest of the world. I'm okay. I have my moments, but that's just normal. That's kind of why I was rather late to start this or to get it scheduled, because I work on things all the time, but then it's like, I guess it loses its luster. And so this morning I was like, I don't know what to do it on. I don't know what to do the live stream on. And I'm like, oh my God, I research all this stuff all the time. And so it doesn't have the wow factor. And plus, if it's not in the news, like Lori, Chad being pushed in the news, then I guess that's what I'm learning is different with all this, is that, oh, okay, there's nothing driving interest, or jogging my memory even, So anyways, that's a whole different thing that I was not, one of those things that you don't know exists until it exists, basically. So let me upload this real quick. Anyways, but thank you. How are you, Spinster? Glad you're here. That's a good one. We stir the pot. They need to lick the spoon, right? I don't know if they deserve to lick the spoon. Sometimes that's like, especially if it's like cake mix or brownie mix or anything like that. Mine used to never make it to the, it never made it. Sometimes, let's see, keep that. All right. Again, they're extra. So, what y'all know that's good? Anything? No, I didn't upload the right one. Okay, damn.
So anyway.
Oh, nope. Try this again. Hey, Nina. How are you? Hey, Pammy. Hey, sis. Supper for mom. Well, y'all enjoy supper. Yeah, you're not late. I'm late all the time. Hey, Natalie. What's up? Yes, Jess. I love you too. Oh my gosh. Funny and cool. I don't know about all that. But thank you. It makes me feel better. Can't scare a mama bear. And I got your email and I just haven't replied, but loud and clear, girl. Loud and clear. Always follow the money. Right. That's what people say. And that's what people have said since the beginning of all this. They're like, follow the money. To some people, that just means follow the insurance money that Chad cashed in on and that Lori tried to cash in on. But that's just not in me. And I can't help but follow the money, because that's what this is. This movement is not just Chad and Lori. You can't call it a cult and just have an inner circle and a not so inner circle and then a not so inner circle. That's how I look at it, as a huge movement that consists of we've seen the fruits of it, of all of them that make up this one movement. And that is, in my opinion, from my research, 6 straight years, Tim Ballard and OUR. That's the main movement. Okay. Chad and Lori are just not an offshoot, but a spring that sprung. I don't know. Same thing for Ruby and Jody. It's the same movement, same people, same beliefs, same circle of people. If not, they overlap in areas where they don't overlap in all areas, but they do overlap nonetheless. So anyways, that's how I see this. And I mean, it also, we have AVOW in there, which I've got to do some digging into this aspect of it. But I remember in the very beginning, in one of the Facebook groups, the Doomsday Facebook group, Leanne and they had pulled up and drug up, however you say that, some emails or whatever that Christopher Perrett had, and it had, oh my God, the global GIS, Global Initiative. I can't remember the last thing for the acronym, but it's the same thing that I learned later was the Clintons. It's like this, I think, and I mean, again, I don't know. So I'm just kind of, this is the feelings I have on it. The vibe is like, I wonder if that was part of the WikiLeaks, the emails that leaked, that involved Hillary Clinton and all that great stuff. And that's where Pizzagate came. I'm like, oh my God. Well, anyways, I don't know. I have to go look more into that, but I'm like, wouldn't that be something? And I don't know what that means. If Christopher Perrett, AVOW being part of that global initiative, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if that is even tied to that. So I'm just saying, that's just my first, I remember looking at these things, staring at these things and going, what is this for? I don't know what this means, but you kind of learn, and that's just how it goes. So anyways, but thank y'all for being here. I appreciate you for being here. You could be anywhere, but you're here. And I trust me, I do appreciate that. All right. Okay. Give me 1 minute. Well, let's see. Okay. Let me close this. I was closing all kinds of windows and stuff from whenever last time we went live. So I'm going to play this for right now while I upload this other thing, because I need a little time. I need a little time. But it's a Packer. I call it the Packer report. Okay. Because Glenn Packer knows his stuff. He does. I mean, I would love to meet the man. I would. Glenn, I love you. I'm a fangirl, but not in that way. I just really appreciate his dogged determination. But anyway, so this is from op-ed, the Packer Operation Underground Railroad op-ed number 11. So I'm going to play this while I upload this real quick.
Officially, an FBI spokesperson told me she will neither confirm nor deny any investigation into Tim Ballard, OUR, or Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes. The Salt Lake District Attorney's Office has met with Rawlings and his investigators and is thinking about weighing in. In this report, former OUR Rehab Director Ed Smart breaks his silence. OUR's Chief Financial Officer Tevye Ware quits and forms her own anti-sex trafficking charity, but still brags about the tens of millions she administered for OUR. Tim Ballard, while under criminal investigation, contemplates running against Mitt Romney in 4 years for the U.S. Senate. And Mormon head apostle M. Russell Ballard, who is suspected of secretly helping kickstart OUR financially, promotes his sons and son-in-law's business ventures out of his church administrative building office. All began with Ed Smart speaking out. Smart, of course, gained notoriety as the father of kidnap victim Elizabeth Smart. Looking back at Smart's role with OUR, he was OUR's aftercare director in 2014 and 2015. Elizabeth Smart joined the OUR board with great fanfare. OUR planned to merge with the Elizabeth Smart Foundation. It never fully materialized. Before OUR became an IRS-approved 501c3 charity, it solicited tax-deductible donations through the Smart Foundation. In 2014, Ed Smart was among OUR's highest profile figures. Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes, Tim Ballard, himself, and his daughter Elizabeth. OUR's website trumpeted the purported OUR Smart Foundation merger, showing that Elizabeth Smart was put on the OUR Board of Governors and that Ed Smart was named Director for Prevention and Rehabilitation. Ed Smart also spoke at OUR events, did news interviews, as reflected in this TV news story excerpt.
His daughter was kidnapped, tortured, and sexually assaulted when she was only 14. Now, Ed Smart is on a mission to rescue children from sex trafficking.
That is Nate Eaton's voice.
We can help our children to understand.
Did y'all hear that? That is Nate Eaton's voice right there. That's Nate Eaton's head right there. Y'all know that whenever Tylee and JJ were missing, that somehow Ed Smart was put in touch with my parents. And there's an interview out there. And I'm going to look for it because that just reminded me. Y'all, did anybody see it? And so I find this whole, and this is going to be the tough part, but I'd rather know the truth or be presented with it than, or you know what I mean? Like lay all the things out there and then let me decide what I believe and what I don't believe or whatever. Like, don't just keep pushing this narrative that everything's great, everything's perfect, this is the way you do it, and all the kids, how come there's so many kids missing? Okay, so something's amiss right here. And, from what I've learned from other people, like this is not original research, is that a lot of people have pointed out the fact that the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which is mainstream, right? That's we went through NCEMC. That's who Detective Ray Hermosillo testified to the fact that he called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And then the FBI is called in because children are involved. And anyways, it's the same thing. So I'm just saying and I don't want to, I'm going to piss people off. Okay. So when you follow the money, you piss people off with the results. And so I'm just saying this right up front that I know I expect that. Also, just understand that I'm just trying to understand what this all is. Am I going to solve it? No. But can we just maybe look at these things and say, I don't know, wonder, and just, I don't know, contemplate these things. So yes. Okay. All right. But I can't believe, here we go. Nate Eaton with Ed Smart, which again, that goes to that whole thing, in my opinion, where it's like, okay, network, people who are plugged into a network are plugged into the network. I don't know how else to put that. They promote each other. They help one another. They help spread awareness, things like that. So let me rewind this a little bit because this is going to be weird again. Regular speed. And I don't have this quite pegged yet. Something about it is amiss. I mean, again, I'm not about discounting anybody's stories, much less a survivor. Okay. But there's something that I can't put my finger on with Ed, I don't know. Just with this whole thing. Now, the one thing that makes me believe its legitimacy is the fact that Ed Smart and the Smart Foundation pulled out and stopped working with Tim and OUR. But so did New Skin, which is interesting. New Skin, especially knowing the allegations against people like Gordon Bowen, Anyways, I don't know. Let me hush.
TV news story excerpt.
His daughter was kidnapped, tortured, and sexually assaulted when she was only 14. Now, Ed Smart is on a mission to rescue children from sex trafficking.
When we can help our children to understand, here is a line
It's
in the
promoting
sand, and
OUR.
this represents what is and isn't acceptable. And when that line is crossed, regardless of who it is, here's what you can do.
While the Smart OUR union
right, I gotta go
was
look that
highly
up.
publicized, OUR did not announce the breakup. Elizabeth Smart
course they
leaving the
did.
board and Ed Smart quitting his job. Looking back, Ed Smart told me he is totally disillusioned with OUR and Tim Ballard. He said, "When I heard Tim make comments that I felt were not true, I became even more disillusioned. I made proposals about aftercare that were not being taken seriously." He said, "It hurts me to see people pour money into OUR when I feel it's very undeserving." One thing I would say about Tim and his organization, they were a money-making machine.
Yes.
Smart told me he was in the Dominican Republic during the bungled Gardaí rescue mission. I reported on the failed rescue in my YouTube
I don't see
episode
it.
10. You might also check out the Vice World News report online titled OUR's Blundering Overseas Missions. In summary, Tim Ballard was certain they would find Gesno Marty's
wonder-
kidnapped son, Gardy. Ballard was being guided by Utah psychic Janet Russen. Smart said he was in the Dominican Republic's capital, Santo Domingo, working on OUR aftercare matters, when all of a sudden Tim Ballard told him about a mission to rescue kidnapped victim Gardy Marty. Psychic Russen said Gardy was being held in a slave labor camp near the DR-Haitian border. Ballard and other operatives came to Santo Domingo from Haiti, and from there, the quickly assembled rescue team would depart to a remote location near the border. Before
Okay, I'm
departing
looking.
Santo Domingo to rescue Gardy, 5 team members went to the LDS temple to pray about the mission. They also visited a site in the city where LDS apostle M. Russell Ballard rededicated the country for Mormon missionary work. The dedication site is shown in this video clip from an LDS church promotional video.
Latter-day Saint missionaries began sharing the church's message in this Caribbean country just over 30 years ago. Beginning
Yes.
with only 26 members in one small congregation, church membership in the Dominican Republic has grown to more than 110,000. M. Russell Ballard of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles was in the Dominican Republic in 1978 when missionary work formally began. He returned to the Caribbean nation in November 2009 to visit with local members and leaders and to reflect on the church's progress there.
This brings back a lot of fond memories.
Ed Smart says Tim
Thank
Ballard
you.
took the Gardy rescue team to the Santo Domingo location where Russell Ballard had dedicated the Dominican Republic for missionary work. At the
question.
site, according to Smart, Tim Ballard called Elder Ballard on the phone to discuss OUR's Gardy rescue mission.
I'm gonna come back to that.
Ed Smart says the expense of the failed Gardy rescue mission was horrendous. That night, after the mission was a failure, Ballard told Smart and other team members, "Don't say anything about it." Smart said participants were asked to sign non-disclosure agreements.
I hate them damn
There
things.
were threats made to those who might say something, he said. And Ballard did not want it coming out they were using a psychic.
Why?
Let's turn to a new development since my last report in March, op-ed 10. OUR's chief financial officer, Tevye Ware,
Me too.
quit and formed her own child rescue nonprofit. Why is that significant?
I
Tevye
can't
Ware is
find it.
OUR's main money
I'm
person.
doing.
She played the most important financial role among OUR's nepotistic officers and directors. Of course, Tim
Nepotistic.
Ballard was president and CEO. He's had various titles over the years. Tevye Ware, CFO, sister-in-law, Catherine Ballard's sister. Julianne Ballard Blake, a director.
Okay, that
and
person right
sister.
there,
Todd Reynolds.
Julianne Ballard Blake. So this is Tim's sister. She's named in the lawsuit from the women. Now I'll have to see if she's named. I'll have to see if she's named in the federal lawsuit, because that's one we're going to look at today. And interesting. So Todd Reynolds, director and the brother-in-law of Tim, married Shauna Ballard, which is none of these. Okay. So how many damn sisters? I thought he only had one, two. That's interesting. I remember hearing, and this was just one of those things that I heard, that Glenn Beck was married to Catherine's sister. And so I don't know if that's true or not true. I've not been able to confirm nor deny that. Let me upload that. All right. But Shauna would be a sister. Julianne would be a sister. And there's a younger one, Emily. So that's 3. And then 2 brothers. That's 4, 5. I'd have to go look at the video I made a while back on how many kids his mom and dad had. It's the only thing I could find on them, period. You know, like very just, you know, they scrape websites and they'll say, oh, they got married at this time. They had how many kids? You know, it's very, I don't know. That's all I could find, because they don't talk about it. And that's interesting. Why? Mormons love to share.
Director, brother-in-law, he married Shauna Ballard.
Ooh.
Mark Reynolds, director, Todd's brother, and Emily Ballard Evans, the spokesperson, a sister.
Okay, whoa. Move that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Emily. Okay, that's this dude's brother. They're brothers. Okay, keeping it in the family, though, for real.
Evans, by the way, has repeatedly declined my requests for comments and interviews.
Why, Emily? Sharing means caring.
OUR's financial oversight headquarters was Ware's rural Cedar City residence. Ware lives in a farmhouse off a dirt road in rural Cedar City. Until she resigned earlier this year, it was OUR's financial nerve center, where, at least in theory, Ware would manage budgets, make financial plans, and oversee accounting. Her salary in 2019, when OUR last reported.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to know, because it's, never mind, it's right here. Nonprofit. Okay.
Was $127,000. Ware also made appearances for OUR, making many of the same unproven claims about child sex slavery that her brother-in-law makes.
Are we shocked? Are we shocked? No, we're not shocked. And it sucks that they get away with all this. It really does. I mean, it just makes it's a lie. And when you purport a lie, when you push a lie, and I mean, it's still going on right now. I saw some podcasters that are more popular, you know, host Paul Hutchinson. And I'm like, lie. You know, I listen to it, but it just pisses me off too. But I have to listen to it in order to be aware and educated about it. But it's lies, and they're still getting away with it. Okay. Paul Hutchinson hosts Y chromosome parties. Y chromosome parties.
But she lacks Tim.
You know why? Because there ain't no party like a Y chromosome party. And a wait, I can't even do it. And a Y chromosome party don't stop. Anyway. I'll be here all week.
Ballard's messaging skill. As in this example, where she's trying to explain the significance of OUR's never-ending search for the missing Gardy Morty.
Oh, girl.
For example, there was one boy that was born in the U.S. You saw in that clip, it was Haiti. I don't know if you could recognize that area, but his family was in Haiti at the time when he was kidnapped. And so while he was a U.S. citizen, it allowed him as an agent to pursue the case for a certain amount of time. It had its limitations, especially once they had gone through several, he was sold out of one orphanage and into a different orphanage, and then gone from there. Our tax dollars are limited. We have to be selective in how we use those funds.
Be selective.
Ware's resignation is the most significant among many other rats fleeing OUR's sinking ship. It's because of the importance of CFOs and because she's Tim Ballard's sister-in-law.
That's
She
what it showed
founded a
me. This
new
video is not
OUR-like
available.
child rescue nonprofit,
Sorry.
Correction Global. Two others,
I like to think that I can talk over these things and it'll just be quiet. But no, Angela, that says video is not available. Allegedly. So thank you. Thank you, though. I mean, yeah, that's kind of weird. I might have it wrong. Let me check it
who
again.
already abandoned ship, joined her new charity. Coaction's website touts Ware's previous work at OUR without ever saying Operation Underground Railroad. She brags about the money OUR took in. Her website says that during her career, referring to but not naming OUR, she has facilitated growth from $990,000 to more than $38,700,000 in annual revenue, with net assets exceeding $60
That's
million.
a lot of freaking money.
As OUR CFO, she was responsible for managing the finances that are now under scrutiny by criminal investigators. CFOs of companies under criminal investigation.
Utah, y'all need to kick it into gear, son. Okay, catch up. Or you know what? For once, set an example by, not being so soft on people. Like, it really is starting to suck. Okay. And it appears that this, in my opinion, since Lynn Packer reported on this back in, I don't even know when, this was 4 years ago. This is June 2021. Besides, the FBI has been working the case. Okay, let me go back here. It says the criminal investigation into Operation Underground Railroad and its founder, Tim Ballard, is, quote, vibrant and productive. And this is where I'm like, no, it's not. Okay. And I don't think Lynn is reporting this. He's saying, according to Davis County Attorney Troy Rawlings. Troy, dude, man up. For real. Like, this is some bullshit. He says his investigators are dealing with a cascade of evidence and witnesses. Okay, well, where'd they go? Besides, the FBI has been working. Okay, whoa. Besides, the FBI has been working the case. The Salt Lake District Attorney's Office is thinking about weighing in. Well, how about, okay, get over it. Okay, you've had what, 4 years now for sure. Okay, I lost my spot talking shit. All right, in my YouTube op-ed 11, former OUR rehab director Ed Smart breaks his silence. OUR's chief financial officer Tevya Ware quits and forms her own can you imagine? So where the hell is she at? She forms her own anti-child sex trafficking. No, I'm kidding. Charity. Tim Ballard, while under criminal investigation, contemplates running against Mitt Romney in 4 years for the U.S. Senate. We watched how that went down, with likely Donald Trump support if he runs. And Mormon head apostle M. Russell Ballard, who is suspected of secretly helping kickstart OUR financially, was still alive at this time, promotes his sons and son-in-law's business ventures out of his church administrative. I'm sorry, it's pissing me off. Out of his church administrative building office. So out of the church headquarters, this dead dude now is promoting all this shit. Okay. In the meantime, Tim Ballard, appearing on Glenn Beck's television show, discloses he took 10 kidnapped adult prostitutes who he claims to have rescued from locked cells next to a brothel in an undisclosed country to the White House to meet in, and he took Tony Robbins' jet. Tony Robbins has his own island, y'all. F. Epstein, he's dead. Like, let's take that information and let's get the rest of them. Because, in my opinion, you're on an island. You're not on you're on Epstein list if you're on an island, in my opinion. Appearing on Glenn Beck's, so, and they did this at, let me finish saying it first. Discloses he took 10 kidnapped adult prostitutes who he claims to have rescued from locked cells next to a brothel in an undisclosed country to the White House to meet in secret with the then President Donald Trump. Ballard claims the White House provided emergency visas to get the freed hookers, that's how he wrote it, out of bondage and into the United States. So this is where I have an issue. another issue, because that is the fact that how you going to be talking and bitching about a wall? How are you going to be talking and bitching about a wall, putting up a wall, but then you're hustling in you're smuggling in freaking over, like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah, it's the same, Tim, but I don't know about the Druze children in Syria. Oh my God. Just know that he's not rescuing any children, from the looks of it. Yeah, it's that one. It is. You know, it is. He's still selling his bullshit. And it's bullshit. Tim Ballard says he's saving kids. Where are they? Why does he have multiple former coworkers taking him to justice for assault, etc.? Exactly. It doesn't make sense. So it's like, what the hell? And how is he going undetected? And this is way back here. This is if we don't stop him, if he is not stopped, if he is not held accountable, he will be Epstein. Period. And I mean, they're all at one and of the same from the looks of it. That's just me. And I know I'm not alone in this thought. It's bullshit. Let me go back over here. Let me get more mad. That's what I do.
Are often targets. As an example, Donald Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg is under threat of criminal indictment.
He looks just miserable. That whatever his name is, I've already forgot it.
Example, Donald Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg is under threat of criminal indictment if he does not flip on Trump, rat Trump out, and provide testimony against him. However, in this case, Ware may have already flipped on her brother-in-law. Speculation persists she was one of the first insiders to turn on Ballard, providing testimony and records.
Can you imagine Christmas? I'm just saying. The two main partners with her new venture, John Lyons and Carlos Rodriguez, had already quit OUR and are known to be cooperating with the criminal probe. Interesting. This one, I don't know. I don't like him. I don't care for him. I don't know. Asked Ware in emails we exchanged about her flipping on Ballard.
In emails we exchanged about her flipping on Ballard. In her reply, she offered no comment and declined an interview. Neither Ware nor Davis County Attorney Troy Rawlings will comment on whether Ware has been given immunity from prosecution in exchange for her testimony and records.
But if she has her own freaking anti-trafficking company, business, nonprofit, I'm worried. And I want to know the name of it. I'm going to have to look this up. Oh, here's the Utah MLM doTERRA. Oh, yeah. We got
MLM doTERRA, which withdrew its financial support for OUR, now backs Ware's child rescue venture.
That's what I'm saying. Now backs hers. Okay. Why? Because this is what they do. They network. And it's not just the Mormons that do this. Obviously. Again, I think it's when you're well connected. It just so happens that Chad and Lori are Mormon. And so this is where I am. Like I said, they didn't introduce me to the Catholics or to the Baptist or to anybody else. It led me right to the Book of Mormon. And this was my introduction into it. So this is where, if they were of a different religion, that's where I'd be. So
it's likely doTERRA would have wanted some assurance before backing her charity that Ware does not face possible prosecution should any criminal charges ensue.
This kind of reminds me of how we have Gathering Humanity, the two women for sure that were part of the 7 gatherers with Lori and Chad that were casting out, that were doing these castings on my family members and Tammy and Brandon to rid the world of zombies, so to speak. Actually, they have a nonprofit organization down in Arizona. I'm going to pull it up real quick so I can show you Gathering Humanity of all things. Okay. I mean, can y'all find another name or some other purpose or something? And that way I'm not suspicious. Okay. Because this sucks. And this is what we're doing. Let's see. This is Christina Atwood and Nicole Earl.
Gathering.
Oh, what'd I do?
Hey, you guys, it's Britt tonight.
Oops. Button happy.
Gathering Humanity is an Arizona-based nonprofit. We serve refugees who are coming through the United Nations and then through the U.S.'s Office of Refugee Resettlement. And we're trying to bring the community together to bring a warm welcome to those families that have endured a great deal before they arrive here in our area. We have.
So how can you have this NPO who is, doing this for all the refugees, and then you have someone on the same team, basically, which is Tim, wanting a wall? And I mean, and then it's all through the United Nations. I heard that. I didn't catch that before, but I heard that this time. So that's what this is. I think that's what Chad and Lori were buying into. I do believe, and this all goes into their whole hypothesis or whatever, and what's been said about Tim and Tom Harrison, that this is going towards this new world order idea. Okay. And I think that's the 2x2, sacrifice your kids, sacrifice. Okay. And then you get to, okay, I will. Thank you. And then whenever you do, you have your 2 tickets, you have your spot guaranteed. It's not heaven. You're not exalted into heaven. You're exalted into, in my opinion, from the looks of it, which is more realistic, if you ask me, because I mean, okay, we can say they're doing it to save their souls, allegedly, to be exalted, to do a second anointing, to do whatever the hell Lori and Chad did to create James and Elena. Okay. So with that being said, it's like, okay, so there's this idea that it's supposed to be the church is doing this or whatever and having all this polygamy shit, and all. And I don't believe it's ever stopped, y'all. I really don't. I believe that's where the spiritual wifery comes from. If they're continuing to do it, people, okay, so let's say the church did quit, like, let's say we take them at their word, then this many hundred, however many years later that they quote unquote disavowed it, would they not have, why would members still be doing it? Why would members still be going astray and fringe, offshoot? They have I swear to God, they must have the highest offshoot record known to man. Okay. I've never heard of this before, Mormonism, before Chad and Lori. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. It's a lot. And so why? And this makes me, I'm sitting here kicking my own ass, because I'm like, well, why aren't you taking that tip from April Raymond, where she said that, they were maybe possibly had invested some money, Chad and Lori, I'm talking about, in this nonprofit organization. Maybe they were going to obtain their own. I don't really know. Maybe they didn't get that far, but, and it was called Inferno or something, like something to do with a volcano that starts with an I. And I think that's it, but I'm not sure. And I still haven't gone back to research that further, but I do believe that this is the buy-in. Okay. To be exalted, you're not to be exalted from heaven, like your spot guaranteed to go to heaven, so you can do whatever, which is what the second anointing does to a person who partake, as they like to say. It's more, in my opinion, buying into this United Nations idea. This Joseph Smith spun it as the United Order. Law of sacrifice, there's another one, but I'm skipping on it right now, blanking on it. I think this is what the buy-in was. And so that's why Julie Rowe was like, oh, the Wasatch wake up. And, I mean, come to find out, there's ley lines and stuff that have been being laid all over the grid, all over our country, all over the world, okay, that could cause faults to break, earthquakes to happen. And if they have this secret intel, like they claim to have, I mean, Tim Ballard, he told Sherston Stockwell, who was an OUR employee, Tim Ballard, Ken Krogh, Tom Harrison, Hugh Vale, at Thanksgiving Point, they told Sherston Stockwell that they had special intelligence. Anytime I hear that, I'm like, CIA, that kind of language, that kind of lingo. And so they have this special intelligence of the second coming. I mean, come on now. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this shit out. Okay. I'm me over here in Southwest Louisiana, and I figured this out a long time ago. But it just, this is what they're doing. This is why they're all accelerationalists. This is why they are all preppers, and that's why they write the books and they make the money and they fake the near-death experiences so that they can be taken seriously. People aren't just going to be like, oh, Chad, he had a vision, and Julie Rowe had a vision, and Tim Ballard and Tom, they're not, no, people aren't going to take them seriously. But if they were to claim that they had a near-death experience, then people would take them seriously. Actually, look, y'all know Donna Serafina, right? Y'all know one thing that she did teach me was that whenever you are telling people that you had a vision or saw something, say it was a dream. People will accept that. And it's true. It's true. Just throwing that in there. I'll give credit for that for sure. Because it's true. So if they fake and say that they have a near-death experience, oh my gosh, then people take them seriously then. But when they're really just learning how to manipulate things, like learning how to remote view, like Janet Russin does, like Chad and Lori do, allegedly, like Melanie Boudreau was like chomping at the bit to do. That's what this is. They're just doing these things. Julie Rowe, she remote views, and it's scary when you think about it. Like, I've been like, oh my God, are they spying on me right now? If so, I'm just saying, like, they don't fight fair. They don't play fair. And they act like they're just sitting on this gold that, like, we're not all capable of doing it. And like, it's something that the CIA has, not given us privilege to. But, they're always many, many decades ahead of us in what they hide from us and then what they declassify eventually. So anyways, look at this little cast monger right here. Little caster. All right, let's listen to this for once.
Gathering Humanity is an Arizona-based nonprofit. We serve refugees who are coming through the United Nations and then through the U.S.'s Office of Refugee Resettlement. And we're trying to bring the community together to bring a warm welcome to those families that have endured a great deal before they arrive here in our area. We have 4 local resettlement agencies here in the Phoenix area that are resettling refugees. They notify us that a family is going to be arriving. As an all-volunteer organization, it takes many hands to make it possible to receive and welcome those families. Once we're notified of a family's arrival and when they'll be there, we have a list of goods that volunteers then come to the warehouse and pull together from the donations that have been made. And we organize it based on the number of people that are coming and the ages and gender, etc., so that another team can go out and actually set up the apartment so that when the family is brought from the airport, they have an inviting space to be. And all the things that we donate are gifts from the community, and we hope that the families will feel the welcome of a community that is glad that they found someplace safe to be.
Cancel. Yeah. This is my new favorite ex-Mormon to listen to. Church House Nightmares. Love her. Okay, she's from Rexburg too. So I think she's interesting. So, okay, this was made September 21st, 2022. Do you think that Christina and Nicole Earl, do you think that they disclosed the fact that they were part of Lori and Chad's casting crew, Gathering Humanity? I mean, the gatherers, like, no, I doubt it, because these people they had to do that. They had to testify. They had to talk to the police. If not, they were going to be freaking, implicated. like I believe they are. I believe they are very much part of, what is this?
Hello, I'm Kim Merciless, and I'm one of the programming co-chairs with Women in Nutraceuticals. At our upcoming WIN Leadership Summit, WIN will be hosting a service project to benefit Gathering Humanity, a nonprofit providing essential goods to those experiencing resettlement and other vulnerable populations in the Tempe area.
Keyword being vulnerable populations. That's the takeaway, because you got to think about, like, Jason Mal. He volunteered whenever Hurricane Katrina happened, right? Vulnerable populations. What do? They go storming in, right? Because they're just such good, faithful Mormons. But yet their church only donates this much to aid humanity, basically. And they, I believe, choose companies, nonprofits, and stuff that are basically going to pay their 10% back to them. Like, it's a return, like they're going to give money, donate money to the church. I'm talking about, they're going to donate money to people who are connected, who are in their network, so to speak, striving for the second coming. That's why the church is saving its money for the second effing coming. Okay. That don't even make sense. So I wanted to go back to this, but kind of late, but I'm in Utah. We had a big earthquake in 2020. The Moroni and the Salt Lake Temple fell off. And yes, it did. And I was right there. I was like, oh shit, maybe Lori and Chad aren't crazy. Maybe, oh man, this is weird. Like, just these thoughts, because like kids were still missing. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on? Just trying to figure it out. Just being honest with you. And there was another one that, and Charlotte Bassett said, I don't know for sure. But this makes sense. Now that you say it like this, I didn't think about it like that. But I do not think Glenn Beck is related, because they were converted, and they were. And so that to the church, and would not have known anyone unless the sister is super young. So I don't know for sure. But then I don't know if Catherine's family is converts to the church. So, it's just one of those things. But that's a good critical thinking brain right there. And then wouldn't that be? I'm just saying, it's a legit question. It's a legitimate question these days. Okay. Is New Skin affiliated with Gordon Bowen? It puts lotion on its skin. It puts lotion. It puts skin. Oh my God. If you know, you know. I don't want to know. I know. That's crazy. That is crazy. Angela, I'm going to have to go check my mailbox. I can't do that and talk. And yeah, check out the Gateway Project, because that's what this is. That's what this is. The vibrations and yada, 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 all the things. And Lori there were 2 yoga mats that they found in Hawaii. I know this is about Tim, but it's about all of them. Okay. Just think about it. Trying to figure out what this is. And I'm telling you, this is what this is, y'all. It's these people who are all, and it's not just Mormons, it's everywhere. The elites, they are already going to go to the NWO project, we'll just say, because they're the ones gunning for it and laughing at us, when they dupe us and shit and, whatever. Whatever. And I don't want to be part of their utopia. Okay. I see what they've done here. and I'm good. Like, bye. When y'all leaving, you know? Oh, but no, they're going to muck it up a great deal first, right? Do all the damage they can do. And to get as many people in sync with their global whatever. I don't know. Global goober is what they are, in my opinion. So I think doTERRA is a bunch of stupidities. It is. Yeah. Let's see. Barbara, is this the same Tim Ballard? I saw. Oh, wait. That might have been from earlier. Oh, I'm way behind. My bad. Way behind. Sounds like God pissed at Moroni. I know. Yeah, but through yoga, there's Kundalini. I'm sure you know about it, right? But Lori was teaching yoga and stuff like that, and she was going to actually go work for April Raymond. April Raymond teaches yoga, whatever, just saying. But I know that they were tapping into the dark side, and just like anything else, it's got a light, it's got a dark. It's, it's your intentions. That's how I believe. But yeah. Your husband was invited to a Mormon service today, and I told him absolutely not. Let me tell you what Krishna has been teaching me. Oh my God. Just always be nice to the missionaries if they ever come. I know that's not what you said, but I wouldn't voluntarily go. No, hell no. No. Doing much more. Just pray for them. Okay. Just pray they'll stop going there and stop. Yeah. Kundalini. Well, that's what like Tony Robbins and his wife, they're all into the Kundalini, and they're all into this group. So again, it's the same movement, in my opinion, just different characters. And that's what I've come to believe, and see how they all just, they're all holding hands basically, in one way or another. Just like with the body code, emotion code with Dr. Bradley Nelson, where all of a sudden he had a vision. A voice. I'm sorry, he heard a voice. They hear voices from God, Chad, And it was to start doing this muscle testing stuff, the energy healing, and create those courses. And those books, and Tony Robbins gave a very lengthy forward in Dr. Bradley Nelson's book. And I was like, well, how? I wonder how they know each other. Things that make you go, Anyways, it's just me. I swear. I could never. I wish I could tell y'all, and, we'd be on the same page about everything, but there's so many things, there's so many things, and all these people are so sus.
Another person who should have wanted assurance where had no chance of being charged is the person she picked to chair her board of directors. Coaction's board chairman is the former executive director of the Utah Department of Commerce, Francine Gianni, where she was over consumer protection, responsible for rooting out charity fraud. Would she have joined Coaction if there was any chance Ware, Lines, or Rodriguez could be swept up in a criminal investigation? I don't know.
Probably.
She would not do an interview. In fact, all Coaction board members and officers declined interviews.
Why? Why decline an interview? Would you want to know if there was some shady stuff going on? I would. All right. So this was something that I edited. So it's bad because I use StreamYard editing, and it's very rough, but this is about Janet Russen. Can I get to this? I didn't realize this didn't click for me last night whenever I was going off because I'd shared the video from the last dispensation of guest. He had a guest on there. His name was Troy Abels, but his guest's name was Janet Russen. And Janet Russen is the psychic or sidekick, or last night I was like, she's like the Ghislaine Maxwell of Tim Ballard. It's the same kind of. That was the impression I got when all the stuff started coming out in the lawsuit for Tim against Tim Ballard. And she just denied all kinds of things last night in that live stream that she had that I shared with y'all last night. That's what I was going to say. And do y'all find it odd? And I mean, maybe it's just me and maybe I'm getting paranoid or something, but it's just sus as all get out. Because so this Nothing Burger, right? She's not really, famous or known or notorious, but she's getting there. She just is affiliated with Catherine Ballard and Children Need Families, which is one of their nonprofit organizations. Catherine Ballard is married to Tim Ballard, right? So, and Tim Ballard did like all kinds of footage and everything of when they went to Haiti to go and rescue this little boy named Marty Gardy. But this little boy in Haiti was allegedly abducted from one of the LDS churches over there, where his dad was a bishop. So, I want to say it was in the Abolitionist movie that came out before the Sound of Freedom movie that just premiered July 4th of this year. Took America, I'm going to say it, by storm. It surprised the box office and everything. And it's a movie that Tim has been sitting on and trying to get buyers or whatever, producers to financially back it. Angel Studios is who did that. Okay. Well, Angel Studios is, sus as all get out too. You're coming out with it. I don't actually, they crowdfunded and the public funded it, because they're so smart. I don't know if it's Angel Studios that's coming out with a near-death experience movie, so wait for that shit to take. Just wait. We'll be waiting over here in our community with the Mormon mischief, we'll say. I just don't want to embolden anybody or give them any ideas. There's also, somebody had said, and I don't know, I think I heard it from Mormonish, maybe, said that there's a movie coming out about Captain Moroni, and I'm like, oh, hell. We're going to have all kinds of warriors coming out, trying to be all big and stuff. It freaks me out. But anyway, so Angel Studio. So Janet Russin was the psychic that was there. And from reading the documents and the news reports that have been put out by Lynn Packer, Vice News, and so on, they've shared, insights into what's been going on, what's being reported, and not just what Tim's telling you. In that Abolitionist movie or whatever, Janet Russin they didn't call her a psychic in the movie, that rescue op, he referred to her as an informant. Informant is different than psychic. And so it's very misleading just by using that term. And there's a lot of things in the LDS religion that, in my opinion, are seeing Christ in the flesh. To me, means seeing literal Christ in the damn flesh. Okay, so I'm literal in that sense, but that doesn't mean that in Mormon belief, in the Mormon church, Mormon culture. Second coming, please know this: the second coming does not mean what it is for me. For me, I think of the second coming as, oh shit, the world's ending. Okay, that's the apocalypse. So whenever Blaze Thibodeau, Brooke Hales and his sister Spring Thibodeau, whenever all that came out with, the second coming, that's not the same thing as their great and dreadful day. That's what they call it. That's the apocalypse. That's when things are, going to be bad. So there's like 5 different phases of the second coming. Just know that. It's interesting because it's very misleading. It's very deceptive, in my opinion. It means 2 totally different things. Okay, great and dreadful day. Okay, that could be Chad going to a trial. That's his great and dreadful day. That's bad when you laugh at yourself.
Yeah,
very loose. But anyway, so Janet comes out and she just says, "No, I didn't. It wasn't referring to the Nephi, the ancient Mormon prophet Nephi." And I'm like, a bull crap. We heard it. She's not just summoning somebody, anybody. Okay. Bullshit. Well, Salt Lake Tribune, KJ, was like, hey, Salt Lake Tribune, just put a article up about that. And so bam, it's about Janet Russin denying that she didn't mean, that prophet Nephi. It was somebody else. I didn't even read the damn article. Okay, I'm just saying, how does some video, The Last Dispensation, how do this YouTube channel have Janet Russin on there? I think for 2 interviews. It says 4 on his playlist, but they're 4 videos, but one of them's a short, 30 seconds or so, and then 2 interviews. One's like 50 something minutes. The other one's the one we went over last night and kind of went a little bit overboard. It was 2 hours and 8 minutes or something like that. But there was one that was not on there, of course. There's always a hidden one somewhere. But how does Salt Lake Tribune, how does her saying that in a video that was only viewed 4,000 something times, I checked before I went live today, here now, how does something like that, she's nothing burger, okay? How does that make the damn Salt Lake Tribune headlines? Front page. Please tell me. Because that's messed up, in my opinion. And that's very shitty reporting. Do better. Be better, If new stuff comes out, I'll just kind of put that by the, to the wayside. And I mean, let's not forget that Tim was doing the Abrahamic test, okay? Remember that he's said things like, what would you do to save children? Okay, it's gross. We see what he will do. Oh, and the other thing, let me just finish, with the Tim Ballard crap right here. But he also referred to his storm, I guess you could say, as some kind of like, I forget the term because I got to go back and look in the papers in the lawsuit, but it was something gross. It was something light wand or something. Okay, it's so gross. Yeah. So let's not forget. Let's not forget. I was watching. I'm sorry, it brings things up. I was watching the Susan Cox Powell documentary on this channel. I forget the name of it, and I mean it was like 4 hours. And the little boy Charlie does an interview with a therapist. And he talks about the dinosaurs and the crystals. And I was like, oh my God, is that Thanksgiving Point? Is that Thanksgiving Point? Want to know. Let me know what you think if you know. I think, the channel name is Dreadful. Okay, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Alrighty. Well, I thought it would be more than that, but I was wrong. Anyways, okay, let's take that off. Just a second. This was something that I found that, okay, so what happened was Marisol Nichols had posted this interview right here, and the next day it was gone. It was privated. Okay. And I just so happened to commentary on it before they privated it. So anyways, I've been able to salvage some things from it, taking me out of it and just trying to piece it together. But so let's just listen to this. I told you. Allegedly, but you really are telling on yourself right now. I'm talking about the cock block. Just call it.
I don't know, a few months ago, the Angel Studios like, we like it. And
bullshit, because they have been trying to get that movie out since 2019.
90 days later, it just
Let's go back.
Life has been extremely exciting for you since the phenomenal success of Sound of Freedom. I know you have no idea this was ever going to happen.
Oh my gosh. I thought it was just going to bomb before it even released because nobody wanted it.
Right.
Literally passed through the hands of Disney, Fox, Netflix, everybody.
Okay.
Right. And they're like, nah, pass. I'm like, oh, we're screwed. And then, I don't know, a few months ago, the Angel Studios like, we like it.
There's a trailer or movie, and Lynn Packer has it on his channel. Again, go subscribe to him, support his work, AmericanCrimeJournal.com. And also they have a Patreon. Support his work. This man, he is one of a kind. I love him, and I appreciate the hard work that he has put into this. If all Mormons were like Mr. Lynn Packer, I think this world would be a much better place. So I do appreciate his work and contribution and all his blood, sweat, and tears. Thank you for pegging this dude because I never cared for him. Whenever I had that dream, right, of my Uncle Charles telling me that their deaths would uncover something far more dark and far more sinister. That was like in 2000, and that was probably right into 2020. We hadn't found the kids yet, so that was before I didn't know that they were dead. But anyways, I think of that all the time. And so whenever I learned of the investigation into Operation Underground Railroad in 2020, I was like, this is something far more dark. This is something far more sinister, right? And yeah, so I mean, I've been watching this, talking about it, and on my channel, Difficult Research, and everything's coming together. All these people, it's like they can't tuck their crazy in, and so they're just coming out the woodworks. And I always said, what about the rest of them? Because 2 by 2, the church is pumping them out 2 by 2. Here they are, Ruby and Jody, Tim and Sean Reyes. He's Mormon too. He's the Attorney General in Utah, Sean Reyes, and they are best buds. Okay. And so there's just some really, and also know that Glenn Beck, the Nazarene Fund, backed Tim Ballard to start his Operation Underground Railroad. Let me shut up.
And 90 days later, it just happened. It's like this.
Oh, what I was going to say was the church has been. Hey, y'all, can we just like pass on the yoga discussion, please? I've been like, okay. And I mean, again, it's just, I believe it's intent, but you know, that's me. And anyways, got enough this is difficult research. This is what we do. And I just, yeah, please, let's do that. And they were working on a movie, Something Jesus. And then it just kind of disappeared. Just kind of put a tab in that.
#1 movie. It's domestically, it beat Mission Impossible.
He does not
and
look
Indiana
good.
Jones domestically.
Right.
But it released internationally yesterday, and it's the #1 movie in every Latin American country.
Okay, did you see that?
It released internationally yesterday, and it's the #1 movie in every Latin American country. We're seeing what the numbers are, but we're at 180 plus million just domestic. And
when did Mormons start wearing crosses? Please, Mormons don't wear crosses. They don't like crosses.
It beat Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones domestically.
Right.
But it released internationally yesterday, and it's the #1 movie in every Latin American country. We're seeing what the numbers are, but we're at 180 plus million just domestic, and it's crazy.
It's incredible.
It is crazy.
Fast, dude.
I mean, even like weeks before the premiere, I'd be going down. I don't care. It could be in Bogota, Colombia, Quito, Ecuador, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Chile. Everywhere I go, and this is not me like ringing a bell or not. I'm just telling you the truth. No. It's like people are like, "Oh my gosh, we know you."
Yeah, they're like, "You got excommunicated." You're
telling you the truth. It's like people are like, "Oh my gosh, we."
Oh, he just did it. Hold on.
And this is not me like ringing a bell or not. I'm just telling you the truth. No. It's like people are like,
"Oh,
oh my god."
Right there. Tim likes to sneak these things in. Okay. In my opinion, he's a Satanist. But that's me.
Yes, we know you.
Yeah, they're like, "You got excommunicated. You're not Grandpa. Don't like you no more."
And this is not me like ringing a bell or not. I'm just telling you the truth. No. It's like people are like, "Oh my gosh, we know you."
This is that guy who has the low man syndrome or something. That's the vibe I get. And y'all, I mean, I have pictures, screenshots of him and Jason Mao in their token grip, their patriarchal grip. You know, their grip. Get a grip. And they're like, okay. And so, yeah. And that's at the Fern Foundation in 2019, which was endorsed by the church-owned businesses like Deseret News, and the other one was LDS Living. So it's Deseret News, which is church-owned. Okay, sponsors of the conference, and I'm talking about the Fern Foundation, the Fern Expo, and the Book of Mormon conference in 2019. President Nelson was amongst those pictures that came from that particular. So was Mike Lee conference. So Glenn Beck, I find this very interesting. Deseret News, LDS Living, 105.9 KNRS, and K Talk.
Thing besides like how successful and phenomenal it is,
So
it's just it also proves that like, look, no, people actually bring their families to go watch and watch and watch, and it literally is the epitome of a grassroots movement. I mean, we couldn't ask.
No, it's not, because y'all didn't do shit.
Anything better
ever. I didn't know there was that many people because my assumption.
Yeah, you did, because you said you did. because of all the P files you would have to look at. You couldn't save those kids. Remember?
So what I was saying for 20 years is
Yeah.
people don't want to talk about it.
I know.
We're all
And
talking
that's
about it.
why I told the producers,
Stupid.
are you sure you want to invest in this film? Because when I scream, no one listens.
Right.
Are you going to scream differently? Yes. They said, and they did. And they gave it. And
Now, watch the apology. I bet he screams all the way to the bank, cashing in those millions.
yes. They said, and they did. And they gave it. And
Now, watch the apologist at work, saving face. Yes, you.
yes. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
So
This is right after the lawsuits came out, and they're doing damage control, in my opinion. So they're going to school us on why they have to do the couples rules.
we're going to talk about how it is that Tim and I go undercover, why it works, the
I hate when
bruises and what we do.
their lips aren't matching up with the sound. So sorry about that.
And we're sort of dedicating this episode to the female operators. out
Yeah, while
there.
he's touching her
So,
body and doing freaky
I mean,
deaky
why don't
shit.
we start?
Well,
How did this happen?
I'll start
Yeah.
by saying this. Like, for some reason, people think of these operators going undercover. They always picture dude. And I'm not sure why that is, because the majority that we work with are actually females. Because we can't do the females are the ones that lead, that find, and there's many, many reasons for that. Okay, on the most base level, and this is shocking to people, but when you watch Sound of Freedom, you recognize who was the #1 recruiter
It was
in the
a
Sound
movie.
of Freedom
God.
movie, which is a real person, Copy Juanes, okay? A woman.
It was a movie. It was a freaking movie. Okay.
Right.
Why is that? Now, if you're running
It
a
was a
trafficking
movie.
organization, you better be sure you're going to have a woman recruiter, because kids trust women way more than they trust men.
Yeah.
About as much as I trust that cross being on your neck. Ooh, look at them eyes.
And especially someone like Copy Juanes, who's
Cate Juanes.
Cartagena. She's
Cartagena.
recruiting children to work or to be models and to be famous. Sure. I mean, that's how kids, everybody who has been around kids know they're much quicker to run to a woman than to a man because of that motherly, beautiful instinct. And so it's a betrayal beyond like anything you can imagine in all humanity, right? That women would
No,
betray.
it's the thing that gets me the most. And you know that. It's the thing that gets me the
Oh my God, she gets on my nerves.
most is when the trafficker is female.
Yeah.
It's
Shut
so
up.
hard for me
He's
to
so
comprehend
stupid.
that level of betrayal.
It's just so
huge.
betrayal.
Okay, so how did you
You're going
start
drum up business though.
working with female
Yeah.
operators?
So I knew that what I noticed was, okay, if I'm talking to the female recruiter,
Yeah.
she's like, not going to talk to me.
Mm.
If a female's there, she's like, you've betrayed everything about yourself too? Let's talk. So that's one thing. But the other problem I had was, look, there's several access points to rescue children. And what I'm going to say isn't going to hurt future operations, I promise, because you can't hurt operations that are happening every day, all day, every
Oh my
country.
God.
Okay, it doesn't matter even if you say it. In fact, if they hear us saying
Because you're a
this
fraud.
and decide to shut down their little portals,
Right.
wonderful. We just won.
Right.
He just said
It's
portals.
spas, it's strip clubs, it's high-end escorts, it's wherever there's a sex. Now, in the past, if I were to show up by myself or send people dudes by themselves, well, what's going to happen? They have to gain credibility,
Right,
with the trafficker, with a pedophile. And if they walk in there and the person tries to grab them and give them a sex act, and they don't take it, bye. You're a cop, or you're not who you say you are.
But you got
And
money.
we're certainly not going to get to the level we're going to tell you about where the kids are. This is proactive work. It's infiltration, which is why so many developing countries don't have.
So basically, what Tim Ballard, I just caught this. What Tim Ballard is actually saying is that he's had to give a lot of blowjobs and stuff to pretend to save children. I don't know. It's just something that popped in my head.
Program because it costs more.
Because I mean, screw money, right? We just, if you're not gonna, service me, then bye. He said.
Money. It's like you got to deal with the bank robberies, the homicide. So we go in there and say, no. We are going to know. Sound of Freedom making people know it is there. Get off your butts and go do something to infiltrate. Now here's the thing. You know me, married, 9 children. The time I'm not going to have sex acts.
right.
He just did it again.
Right.
I'm not going to do it.
He's not gonna have them, but he didn't say anything about not doing them. I'm just saying.
The time
He just did
I'm not going to have sex acts.
Right.
He just did it again.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. At the same time, I trust myself
Right
to
there.
be able to infiltrate and ask the right questions because I know so much about the market.
So just so people are understanding, so what
he knows so much about the market because, in my opinion, and just like the women who have alleged, that he has sexually assaulted them, they've alleged that the anti-traffickers are the traffickers, meaning Tim. He's a trafficker. So, of course, he knows this business. Again,
right.
I'm not going to do it. At the same time, I trust myself to be able to infiltrate and ask the right questions because I know so much about the market.
So just so people are understanding, so what's happening is places where they have children for sale are very dark and very disgusting, and you have to send people in there, right, to infiltrate, and the first people that they bring out are the adults, right?
Yes.
So if the adults are there and you're in, like, let's say a sex resort or a spa or any of the places that you mentioned, I just want my audience to understand what we're saying here, then why wouldn't the operator engage in sex with the adult if they're there to buy sex? It makes no sense.
That don't make sense.
So that's where you're saying the female comes in.
Right.
So let's talk about that.
Right, because if I want to infiltrate, which I know I can do,
it's infiltrate.
But I'm unwilling to engage in any sexual activity with any sex worker, adult, or trafficker. Here comes the idea. And I remember where I was, by the way. I was laying in bed in my uncle's house in St. Clemente.
I want to know who this uncle is because he sounds like he's a billionaire.
And I was like, how do we do this? And then it hit me. Oh,
I wonder if that's Ballard's other son.
This is acting.
Or his dad.
This is not, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. Just because you're a cop or a former cop does not inherently make you a great undercover operator.
What if you're never a cop? Okay.
Undercover operations, first and foremost, are actors. Second, can you learn the skill set to keep yourself safe?
What if Elder Ballard taught little Ballard, baby Ballard here, his skill set, since he was all up in Haiti, many, many, many decades before Timmy here.
And you can maintain your composure, but if you can't act,
right,
you're dead from the beginning, and you put yourself in risk, your partner's at risk, and the children at risk. And I thought to myself, Marisol, can you do this with me? And we had a lead.
Come on, spit it out.
And the lead it was like a private VIP exclusive sex club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there was also another one. This spa. It's a brand. It's called Bankrolled, but we can say it because it's all been.
Oh, good. We say it.
They've all been taken down. They're all in jail.
Okay, great.
And so there was these two places, and I was like,
I don't know. I know we do,
but I'm not going in alone.
He's so
I want to walk my audience back with this, just so they're understanding. So when you go in,
it's to clarify, they're acting right now. Okay.
Undercover names pretending to be someone else, right? And that someone else is traveling with a female. Yeah. So what happens is I got this phone call. I'll never forget it. And you're like, hey, Marisol. I was like, can you go to the Dominican Republic? I think so. You're like, great. I need to go in and I need you. And I think I paused for like half a second and I'm like, all right, what do I got to do? And we even made jokes about this. And, my audience is, if they're listening to this, they're somewhat sophisticated, but we made this joke of like, I'm the cock, literally. And the point is that what Tim was referring to
for each other, by the way, both of us.
Exactly.
Yeah, mutually.
Is if you're traveling with a female and I'm supposed to be your wife, like it was a husband-wife ruse. We've used it a lot. It works very, very well.
Yeah.
And
purchase relations with a child, and they don't care as long as you have money. I think they're being extra.
Wife can then get jealous and block the husband from engaging.
Right.
And while we're in there, we're getting all the information that we need.
Like there's times when they'll make a move on me.
I'm sure they're all taking all these wonderful drugs while they're there, because Mormons are very oppressed people, and you can't keep people like that oppressed because it explodes like a freaking can of biscuits later, as we have witnessed happen since Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. It has been a shit show in the Mormon community ever since. I didn't pay attention to it before because I didn't know anything about it. But it is, Ruby, Jody, there's allegations of the hot tub parties and all that with the sisters, the relationships and the comings and going, with
peanut butter
and incest. Okay, that is disgusting. So these people, and then it goes to the kids, you know, that. And so I really am of the opinion that Russell and Eve, the ones that were basically dubbing them dark, right? They've been singled out by Jody and Ruby, and I do believe that they were going to be the next Tylee and JJ, which is so it was for religious purposes. It says that in the indictment that was a sacrifice. That was two sacrifices. I do believe that Melanie Pulaski was trying to get her children with Alex right there in the vehicle as she was trying to get to her kids in American Fork, Utah, at her in-laws' house, Brandon's parents' house. She wanted her kids. I believe she wanted to be exalted like her Aunt Lori. I don't know. To the New World Order. But Tylee and JJ were there, and two of Brandon and Melanie Boudreaux's kids were about to be there. I mean, they were dubbing them dark. They were working the percentages and everything. And then here we have Ruby Frank, and we have Jody Hildebrandt and duct tape, emaciated, running to the neighbors, call 911. We have some abused children. You know, it's so sad, and it's going to happen again. It's purge season, y'all. This is the month that Tylee and JJ were murdered. We do know that. It is purge season coming upon us again. That's another reason to ramp this up and raise awareness, because it is September 8th, 9th, 7th, you know, around in there, around the time that JJ was murdered, purge season. And it's around general conference time. I call it purge season. It is what it is. It's uncomfortable, but it's even more uncomfortable for these little victims. You know, it's so sad.
Yeah. And we have a key word.
All right, so I'm gonna sorry, it's taking too long. And I mean, we got the part out of it for sure. Now I'm looking for the other window I had. Hold on. And it is right here
on my Telegram.
Okay, hold on.
And or are on my Telegram, or just
this is from a non-famous. Okay, I got this from his Rumble account, which is where I saw it before, and I've shared it here before. He's much better. He's already put these things together, and I'm not about to jack somebody else's work. So this is a non-famous. You can go to a Substack, and that's where I found him. And he must have privated a lot of his Ballard. I mean, a lot of his work actually, but and so it's just a bare scale right now. It's just, you know, to the minimum. He's got a few things up, but anyway, so I'm like, oh no, I didn't get to read the rest of it, you know, but he still does a good spiel. But I mean, he kind of thumbs through the things, and it's hard to kind of keep up, but nonetheless, it's info that I did not have that I now have that, you know, is out there. So,
you know, you have to are too busy to follow.
Let me see.
But anyways, this is the video that kind of opened up Pandora's box, let's say. And this is the video where Tim Ballard says that Carlos Slim and John Paul DeJoria financed his film. And I did talk about this in my podcast, but I will talk about it right now, or I'll just show you guys it right now. Let's play it.
Power of protection. Who's paying for this movie to come about?
I think Jim's. Aren't you from the building? A great group of people have come together to invest in this production. Some of them, the Carlos Slim family is involved. Really? From Mexico. JP, John Paul DeJoria.
Fox. So there you go. Carlos Slim, John Paul DeJoria. So this is what really got everyone into digging, at least, you know, like this is what everyone's talking about. And so I posted that a while ago. Let's see here. I posted that July 8th. So literally a week ago almost. I posted that. I posted that July 8th. Wow, I've been digging that long. 10 days already?
That ain't long.
Yeah,
I've been digging for like 6 years. He's like, 10 days? That's long. And I'm like, oh man.
4th. Literally the movie came out. This is when I started digging into Ballard.
I don't want to skip
July,
because
wow. I can't believe it's already been that long. But yeah, so that's the video that kind of got everyone launched into it.
Now some of this I was aware of, but
yeah, that's it. But yeah, let me just start from the beginning. I'm going to do like a quick review of my podcast. For those of you that listen to my podcast, I'll just do like a quick review of everything that I talked about. I'm not going to go into detail with the new information, but I'll just do like a quick overview. So this is the YouTube video right here.
A lot of the things that Mason...
That includes Ballard and the Mormon Church saying that the pentagram is good. So I'll just play this video real quick.
Do are things that are very familiar to Latter-day Saints who participate in temple worship. And the question we have to ask is, why did this group, first of all, why did they possess them? And that's a mystery. There's a lot of theory behind it.
There's
a lot of people believe that
Ballard.
the symbols and signs of masonry were preserved.
This was posted 9 years ago.
The days of the ancient Israelites and Solomon's temple. And that Jesus Christ himself taught these principles in mortality, and that they were things that were given to the apostles. And that somehow this group of what we call the Masons, perhaps through a Templar connection, perhaps through another way, through the apostasy, they preserved these signs and symbols.
So you can see how he's trying to make Knights Templar, Freemasonry, the secret societies look like good guys, right? Good people. I saw right through that, right there.
When we speak of
So there you go. And then here they're talking about the
pentagram, and its southernmost tip points directly to the White House.
Latter-day Saints are accused of being Satan worshipers because some of our early buildings, the Logan Temple, the Salt Lake Temple, the Nauvoo Temple, all three of them have inverted 5-part stars on them. There are 40 on the Salt Lake Temple. Every window on the Nauvoo Temple is an inverted pentagram in a circle surrounded by 3 stones at each of the 4 cardinal directions, 12 stones. Here we have an inverted pentagram surrounding the Nauvoo Temple, the temple designed by Joseph Smith, the prophet of the Restoration. Why would he put a pentagram on one of the most important early temples? The pentagram is perhaps the oldest because it has those connections of light, divine geometry, healing and perfection. Of course it would be tied to Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted to show you. So they're tying the pentagram to Jesus. That's what I talked about on my podcast. That's the clip that I wanted you guys to see. And there you go. So I'm just gonna breeze through this. I talked about Paul Hutchinson in my podcast. And so this is the, remember I talked about, I can't do that scroll there. So I got the text really large for you guys, but it's kind of hard to control. Okay, so this is the Joseph Smith seal I was talking about.
All right, hold on just one second. Let's go here real quick.
Good evening, everyone. We start with developing news regarding Operation Underground Railroad founder Tim Ballard and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
In a statement to Fox 13 News and Vice News, the church has denounced Tim Ballard's activities as morally unacceptable. In an online article posted this morning, Tim Ballard claimed, or Vice News reports that Tim Ballard claimed that one of the top leaders of the church, President M. Russell Ballard of the Quorum of 12 Apostles, played a secret and central role in Operation Underground Railroad. Further, Vice News reports witnesses who spoke to federal and local investigators say Tim Ballard claimed OUR and his personal business ventures were backed by Elder Ballard as part of a larger mission to bring Americans to the LDS faith.
Today, in a rare statement, the church acknowledged to Fox 13 News that President Ballard and Tim Ballard, no relation, established a friendship.
Now, and that whole no relation thing, it's just like Chad and Lori when people retell the story about their crimes. And I've heard way too many people, actually, I've heard majority repeat everything verbatim and not doing their own research into it. Now that like Chad and Lori went and did their own temple sealing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Nobody was there except for them. Nobody has, been able to come out that's been there, that is an eyewitness, So I'm not going to sit there and vouch for them and separate what they did inside the temple, by the way, what they did, and they sealed however they sealed, whether it was to themselves, whether it was in a dark closet room, a broom closet somewhere. I don't know. It didn't sound like it from the way Chad Daybell explained it in the James Elena story. But, everybody runs and just repeats it as if what they're doing is nothing like what the mainstream church is doing. Now, I'm not going to say everything because I found so many things that are just the same thing that the church does. That's just my opinion. I've never been in there, but from reading it and learning about it for all these years, I don't know. I can't. I can't like 100% say that it had nothing to do with the church. Same with they're not related. Ballard and Ballard are not related. Now, do they go and verify that? I don't think so. They just repeat it. And the fact that they add it in there makes me super sus. Because I'm just like, why even add it then? Why? To stop people from thinking. That's my opinion. But anyways.
Today, in a rare statement, the church acknowledged to Fox 13 News that President Ballard and Tim Ballard, no relation, established a friendship a number of years ago, built on a shared interest in looking after God's children. But the church says the relationship is in the past. And President Ballard hasn't had any contact with Tim Ballard for many months now. The church also says, quote, once it became clear Tim Ballard had betrayed their friendship through the unauthorized use of President Ballard's name for Tim Ballard.
Now, y'all want to know who wrote that? Who wrote this? Once it became clear Tim Ballard had betrayed their friendship through the unauthorized use of President Ballard's name for Tim Ballard's personal advantage and activity regarded as morally unacceptable, President Ballard withdrew his association. This was Gordon Bowen. Sit on that for a second.
Ballard's personal advantage and activity regarded as morally unacceptable. President Ballard withdrew his association.
Tim Ballard left OUR 3 months ago and has been rumored to be considering a run for the U.S. Senate from Utah. The church said today it never endorsed, supported, or represented OUR, Tim Ballard, or any projects associated with them.
On another front, last night,
I remember my first lie. Remember that?
Tim Ballard testified before the House Ways and Means Committee. He accused President Biden of being, quote, the trafficker in chief because of his administration's policies.
The government has lost track of 85,000 minors that crossed the border.
And he's there to find them.
Unaccompanied. These children are prime targets for traffickers for sex or labor. Tragically, as a result of this administration's current policies, DHS and HHS have unwittingly become a child trafficking delivery service. This must stop.
Fox 13 News has been trying to reach Tim Ballard for comment regarding the church's denouncement today. We have so far been unsuccessful. Ballard has been under investigation by the Davis County attorney for alleged communications fraud and witness tampering.
Where's that investigation, y'all? Utah, where's that investigation going? Nowhere. Haven't heard nothing about it. Nothing. Not one thing.
That investigation is reported to be over.
Oh, well, that there you go. It's over. Come on now. Come on now. No. Oh my gosh. So annoying. This one. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, I'm a little slow right now. I mean, I just told you about Gordon Bowen being the one to, come up with that whole email. So why is Gordon Bowen like writing the email that publicly denounces Tim Ballard, you ask? Well, I included a little excerpt here of some allegations against Gordon Bowen. This is David Hamblin. This is Rosie. She used to be married to him. Last name Anderson. That's her maiden name. Anyways, both arrested on satanic ritual abuse, or just really ritualistic abuse. And both let go. Everything dropped. Nothing to see here, y'all. Nothing. So what I did was I used my AI reader that sounds like me to, and it's bad. So bad trigger warning. Okay. Like ferocious trigger warning in here.
Hey guys, trigger warning for what we're about to show you.
Yeah. Okay. Just saying. He said it. So I was like, okay. Yep. Don't mind if I do, Tim. All right. So here we go. Oh, holy Jesus.
Experience Teen 5, 1999, Salt Lake City, Utah. Rosie was on a type of probation with the council. She talked a lot about how she was worried about what they would do to her. She took Redacteds and me to Salt Lake to see Gordon Bowen, who is the punisher for the council. Redacted, and I were taken up to Gordon Bowen's house. When we got up there, no one was home. Rosie had us help her prepare a meal for him, and when he arrived a while later, Rosie went and ate with him. Redacteds and I cleaned up the kitchen and then went and freshened ourselves up like she had instructed. When they were finished eating, he invited us into his dark office where he indicated that Rosie was permitted to speak. She had coached us extensively beforehand that we were to back up everything she said to him. We had been forced to promise to that. However, when the time came, the most we could so was nod slightly and mouth a mute agreement. He listened for a while and then seemed to grow tired of her many requests and complaints. He stood up and invited us to go see his latest project. He took us to his workshop, and as we walked in, we could see the body of a man who had been skinned, hanging up with a rope around his neck.
Yep.
Gordon had elaborate machines and tools that were obviously used for torture and the preserving of the bodies of his victims. It was a little bit like a hospital with so much equipment everywhere, but there were strange smells I did not recognize.
Yeah.
And some I did, like formaldehyde, rubbing alcohol, blood, urine, and semen. He started pointing out objects and explaining what they were used for. Many of them looked quite old. They were all horrible and ugly things. Then he led us to where he had things
Trigger.
that looked like bizarre mannequins. He explained to us that they were the skins of some of his victims. They were skins of people he had murdered, and he had put them over a sort of frame so they would look somewhat human again. Some of them could be worn like a costume. Rosie was bright-eyed and interested, asking questions. I was terrified. He moved on and showed us masks he had made from the skins of more people. There were even some of teens, kids, and babies. Most of them had hair still attached that was dirty
Oh my
and
God.
smelly from being used. He told us how he took great care to keep some definition to the faces. He said that they were powerful because the spirits of the people were still attached to them. Rosie turned to Gordon and said that she and David would like to offer us as a gift to him to do with as he liked. He acted like he wasn't quite listening and motioned to her to continue to the next room for the rest of the tour. But when we got to the door, he closed it behind her, locking us in with him. Redacted did not try to open that door, get us out of there, call to us, or go for help. She left us in there with him. I wish I could describe how horrific the next 20 hours were. Gordon made us undress, and he did a huge variety of things to us, including tortured, raped, sodomized, whipped, chained, and urinated on us, and made us do the same things to ourselves and each other. He put hoods over our heads and tied us up, forcing us to listen to what he was doing to our redacteds. He chained us to the wall, locked us in boxes, and strapped us onto torture tables. He did experiments on us, whipped and beat us. He forced us to put on the human skin masks, animal skins, clothes made out of skin and body parts, and performed sex acts and other things to him and each other. He had some animal skins and made us put on and act like that animal. He would beat us with whips and with chains. He urinated on us and had us to that to each other. We snatched small bits of sleep when we were too exhausted to continue. He would go and work on part of a project or out of the room and then come back for us. We knew we couldn't leave. At some point, Rosie brought him a tray of food. When Gordon finally let us out, it was late afternoon the next day. We were exhausted and filthy. We were covered in blood, semen, urine, poo, vomit, sweat, and other chemicals he had put on us.
Ugh.
Rosie was revolted by us and told us so. She put towels down on the car seats so that wouldn't make her car dirty. Then she had us wait in there while she went and spoke to Gordon for a few minutes by his front door. All the way home, she tried to interrogate us, to try to force us to tell her what happened.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I know. It is Silence of the Lambs. It is. So Gordon Bowen is allegedly who the Hamlin girls claim abused them in this manner. So all I did was take the words that were from their own victim statements and the that came out of the grandma, which is the Utah equivalent to FOIA. Okay. So this is all, I have this whole case file and the videos and the audios and yada, yada, but it's never been able to get like to court. Like it just got kicked down again. This has been 30 years now, y'all. 30 flipping years. And again, I think that these are the same people, all of them. And they infiltrate, using Tim's word there, to turn as many souls over as they can, like abusing one at a time, or like Tim, multiple, masses. So anyways, I just wanted to show y'all that. I know it's horrible, and yes, take care of your mental health for sure. Imagine being a victim of this, allegedly. Just imagine. Like I can't. And until it actually does go to court, then we're just left here with all this. They're left with no justice, allegedly, and we are left with all these conspiracy theories. Okay? Don't you know they're all damn conspiracy theories? I swear. I have better things to do with my time than to come up with conspiracy theories, first off. Okay. Now, I want to show you this. Y'all have seen this
was able
before.
to get connected with Tom Harrison, who is this inspiration behind the book, The Visions of Glory. The lawsuit has, people don't realize, I actually didn't even realize this because I didn't, it's just, you don't know what to pay attention to sometimes until you're like, oh, that was gold. I was just like a person who likes silver. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention as much, but I reread the entire lawsuit, both like the first one kind of that came out in October, and then more of the amendments that came out last week. And there are a couple blessings from Tom Harrison, and supposed to be a mental health professional, and he is inspired and has a lot of connection.
They got mountains. They're no lumpy rugs. They are just mountains. That's where the mountains come from. I'm just kidding. But I did think of that whenever I was in Boise. I was like, man, all these mountains. And I was like, oh, that's all the shit that they just keep sweeping under the rug,
With Jody Hildebrandt, he was working closely with Lori and Chad Daybell, and also working closely with Tim Ballard. Take me back to something, because all of this stuff that you called me up after the amendments came, and you said that so many other things came back to your recollection, and maybe it was this story that you want to talk about the connection between Tom Harrison and Tim Ballard that we didn't talk about in our first interview. Should we give a little bit of an overview of Visions of Glory and why this is important first?
Yeah, we can do it that way.
Oh, okay. You said that you read Visions of Glory. This is a book that describes this man named Spencer. It's written
near-death experiences, in my opinion.
Ghost written in a way, you could say, by Tom Harrison, and then given to this man named John Pontius. And then
who died with
one of the top-selling books in Mormon circles. It describes having this heightened spiritual sensitivity and supposedly allows individuals to have a deeper understanding of others. It's all kind of through this near-death experiences, and the narrator claims to have access to the intimate details and thoughts about people, their actions, and their character. And then in this state, believe that they can perceive others, whether they are good or bad, honest or corrupt. And one example from the book off the top of my head
dark
is him describing like
light or dark, straight up, straight the hell up, y'all. I think.
It's all kind of through this near-death experiences, and the narrator claims to have access to the intimate details and thoughts about people, their actions, and their character. And then in this state, believe that they can perceive others, whether they are good or bad, honest or corrupt. And one example from the book off the top of my head is him describing like these near-death experiences and visions, and being in a hospital room and feeling like the nurses that are working on him are angels. And as soon as the doctor walks in, he's like, I can tell everything that everyone's ever done. It's neither good or bad, except for also it is, because they're either angels or they're possessed by dark spirits. But I can see their people's entire life in the context of what their struggles are, what they've been through. And like, oh, the doctor that just walked in, he's having an affair with the nurse right now. Or when somebody watches pornography on a screen, it's literally these other evil demons who want to get a taste of mortality and carnal desires.
Into the crown head of the person, possess them so they can experience the euphoria of
right.
That.
And
so it goes even further into like he can look at a couch and see that an affair happened on that couch, and the fibers of the couch are crying out for justice. Like furniture talks, I guess, to him.
Wow. Yeah. So this is a book that's taken a lot of people by storm. And Lori and Chad Daybell, just to drill this home even further, there's a body cam of the police going to go try to arrest Lori and Chad Daybell in Hawaii after they just went on a total murdering spree after very
oh shit. Oh,
Tim Ballard
no.
tried to arrest
while they were active members of the church.
Lori and Chad Daybell in Hawaii after they just went on a total murdering spree after very much being inspired by this book, Visions of Glory, and Tom Harrison. And the book is underneath like Lori and Chad Daybell in Hawaii after they just went on a total murdering spree after very much being inspired by this book, Visions of Glory, and Tom Harrison. And the book is underneath like Lori's leg as she's sitting outside.
She's
at
literally
the pool.
reading it while the police are coming up and serving her papers.
Amen. Yeah. Busted. Never to be trusted. Back to new research.
It's called the Holiness to the Lord parchment. So you can see this is what he wrote down. This is actually stored or something. This is what he has. So we have this symbol, that symbol, all right? And you're like, what is that stuff? Well, it's this. Prosperity seal of Solomon. There it is. Harmony seal, right?
I forget who asked it, or I think Nina, not Canadian Nina, but Nina, the other one. I'm sorry. Asked about the dark stuff, the magic stuff that Brigham Young, actually Joseph Smith too, because that's where this all came from. The parchments and all that. That's what this is. It's like the lower key of Solomon. What else? That stuff I don't know as much about, but I do follow people who do, and I learn. And so I'm trying to fit that into my brain at the moment. That's the parchment though. And I mean, Joseph Smith carried a Jupiter talisman on him. So when Chad is doing what he was doing with a pendulum, it's no different than Joseph Smith and Brigham, and so on and so forth, were doing back in their day, occult, all kinds of occult.
I was talking about. It's called the Holiness to the Lord parchment. So you can see this is what he wrote down. This is actually stored or something. This is what he has. So
he actually sacrificed oh my gosh, was it I think it was a goat or something. It was a goat.
We have this symbol, that symbol, all right? And you're like, what is that?
I can probably send you some stuff though.
It's this. Prosperity seal of Solomon. There it is. Harmony seal, right? We got those two. Here we go. Grant wish seal. This is the pentagram. This is the hexagram. Seals of King Solomon. This is what I was talking about in my podcast. So there you go. This is the Ballard family I was talking about in my podcast. And oh yeah.
And I also wanted to acknowledge Huggy Bear, your comment about Tim's uncle being a contractor, Anderson. And I know, right? And that's why I think it's a bunch of bullshit when they say that Ballard and Ballard are not related, because I mean, think about Ballard, Elder Ballard. Think about his wife's name. Her maiden name was Bowen. And I'm like, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. So in my opinion, I don't know for a fact, but I am assuming, and we'll one day learn, that they're probably related. Gordon Bowen there. Oh, it puts the lotion on its skin. Silence of the Lambs guy, allegedly. I'm pretty sure Bowen. Okay, so there's that. And then the Anderson part. Tim Ballard is related to, thank you, Janet Russin, Nephi Anderson. So Nephi Anderson, I mean, that's that whole last name right there. So Rosie is an Anderson. Okay. But Elder Ballard, he's related to some Andersons. I mean, hell, he's related to Jesus Christ himself, he says, allegedly. He's related to Joseph Smith. That was his great, whatever uncle. And they believe they have the holy bloodline, so to speak. And so I'm like, yeah, it's probably Cain, though. It's probably Cain. I mean, if I'm just being honest. But that's very helpful, your comment, Huggy Bear. Thank you so much for the work you do. Oh my God. I would love to just talk to you one day. Oh my God. If you ever want to, let me know. I will make it happen. All right.
Here's the temple garment I was talking about. So we got the square, compass, and the ruler right there. So here's an ex-member. I can't believe as a member that I never knew I was wearing Masonic symbols on my underwear every day. No one tells you before you go through the temple that Joseph Smith took almost everything from the Masons. So there you go. And let's see here. We have, yep, this is Tim Ballard's brother I was talking about on the podcast, sister. Oh yeah, here's the Jim Caviezel wearing the Jerusalem cross right here. God, I wish I could get rid of this. But this is I got this off a Masonic website. So the Jerusalem cross right here is part of the Templar symbolism. The cross is the obvious emblem of Christianity. So yeah, Christian masonry. So not actual Christianity. They're tying in their masonry stuff and secret societies into Christianity, which just means they're poisoning Christianity or trying to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so hold on that. I just pulled this up so that we can go over it right now. While I have it, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Lost it. All right. This is that whole thing about Tim being a household name. Okay. Tim Ballard and Ken Krogh recount Elder Ballard's prophecy and support. And this is the part that I caught, other than like on top of, Tim Ballard being Elder Ballard prophesying that Tim Ballard would be a household name. There's also the part where they say, if we don't start OUR when we did, then in 10 years, we'll be slaves. And so again, this goes into the whole gathering humanity and the whole NWO, AKA United Order from Joseph Smith, in my opinion, that I believe Chad and Lori actively participated in. And that's why I have 3 fewer family members today, I believe.
Ken's background is he built a multi-billion-dollar company
on this stuff,
inside sales, like huge office, and so that's why. And I met him through Elder Ballard, because Elder Ballard and the churches used him to use the same kind of tools and technologies for the missionary program and everything like that. And Elder Ballard actually looked him in the eye, and poor Elder Ballard can't even affirm this right now. But he said Tim will be 10 years ago. He said Tim will be a household name.
Yes.
And I was just like, what are you saying? Like no one knew who I was at the time.
And he said, if we don't do it in 10 years, we'll all be slaves.
That's right.
Yeah.
He took to Ken and he said, Ken, you need to guide that process to when it happens.
You know what happened the next 2 nights? I had
dreams
all night long about what to do. And I even saw Tony Robbins. And we went up there to that whiteboard, crazy. And we made a 2-story high whiteboard, and we circled all the best places, and we circled the biggest name of all would be Tony Robbins.
This is before we knew him or he knew us.
We didn't even know. And the Lord had our back. I didn't do anything about that other than highlight what he showed.
Well, I remember Elder Ballard, he said, okay, well, Tony it is.
Yes.
Okay, well, how do we get to him?
Yes.
And Elder Ballard said, don't let the Lord take care of that.
And he did.
Within 6 months, Tony Robbins calls me. Bizarre.
And already firmly committed, and that's where we're going, you guys. So.
Okay. And check this one out.
Goodbye to Vallow. We might be back for more ice cream. I thought this was it. But it might be goodbye to McDonald's and to, although I don't think so. We'll come back, apparently.
Yeah. Just saying. All right, hold on. I'm looking for Jesus jammies. Yep, right here. Hold on. And that's here.
It's like, Catherine, we need to spice up things, because like things aren't great right now. But to spice it up, like let's not like where our Jesus jammies is better. I've been a covenant. Really? Where's in the scriptures that says you wear these? Because Joseph Smith was killed not wearing them. Like they're great. They're great. Whatever. They're fine. They're symbolic. Whatever. But it's like Catherine. It's like let's lay naked.
Let's lay naked. All right. So back to the Jesus jammy.
There's
Well, he
Mel
just
Gibson.
got finished with the Jesus jammy.
This is his photo with Peter Nye.
So have y'all watched the Ashley Banfield? Oh my God. Drop Dead Serious or whatever, her podcast on Nygaard here. Oh my God. Holy shit. Canada. Holy crap, y'all. Hunker down. Hunker down. That dude is crazy. And look who his friend is. People are like, oh, Mel Gibson, he's fighting. No. They're all actors. Okay. Sorry. Worldview. Smash. I know.
Nygaard, I was talking about.
This compact device uses NASA cooling tech to chill any room. It's smaller than a toaster.
Website includes podcast, and this is the Masonic tie right here. Syrian. We got him with the Jesuit priest right there.
See, he's very fast.
This is Tim Ballard wearing a Freemason tie. Let me get the picture. That's why I added the photo as my podcast.
And look, there's Matt. Oh, what's his damn name? Matt, whatever. Right behind him. With the little pins and little glasses. You ever known Tim to wear glasses? Me neither.
In my first podcast, and this is the Masonic tie right here. This is Mel Gibson's girlfriend, and the website includes interesting logos. So that's the compass logo on the website. You can see it up here in the A in Ambition, and then they got partners.
Like, I thought this would be like, he didn't know what this was, and it looks like M13 or whatever it is. Isn't that like CIA in England or something? I don't know. See, I don't know. But let's see.
Supporters. So we have the three pillars. This is Boaz, Joaquin, and then the middle one is the hidden pillar. And then we have a goat's head, and we got I haven't figured that one out, but that looks interesting. Symbolism as well.
Looks like mountains.
This is a good video.
Sound of Freedom is a scam. Prove me wrong. It's a money-making scam. And these people, they use something so horrendous like human trafficking, and they exploit us, God's children, to fall for it.
But then there's these contribution goals, and I had people share some of them. And there were a lot of really beautiful, emotional goals they want to do for their family, want to do for the world. And one woman stood up, and she was so emotional. And
Okay, so Tony Robbins, basically, I'm just going to give you an overview. I don't want to watch the 4-minute video, but Tony Robbins is in this video explaining how he makes money and why money is important, and like how he's able to convince people to give him money. And
nobody's crying.
We got Ballard there.
And this is $1 billion in a period of awesome. 30 or 40 minutes. And they're just, I was crying. Nobody's crying.
And this is Angel Studios, also frauds. Two brothers, both Mormons. And if you look at their old company, Vid Angels, they just got sued, 60 odd million. The judges have just recently ordered them to pay 9.9 million over 14 years. They're con men, and now they're doing it again.
And then two, we started building an audience through crowdfunding.
Whoa,
Instead of
hold on.
Again.
And then two, we started building an audience through crowdfunding. Instead of going into a big bank or a big studio, $1 million to get more screens.
Ballard's talking about how they make money.
Being able to pay it forward.
People that use God and hide behind scripture. It's a money-making scam. And Tony Robbins, if you see who he's associated with.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Bill Clinton on speed dial.
Phone call where a child is suicidal, or the President of the United States calls and says they're going to impeach me in the morning. What should I do?
But that actually happened. Bill Clinton called you the night before, 1998, and said, Tony, they may be impeaching me in the morning. What should I do? What an extraordinary position of responsibility
Well,
you
sure
had.
I'm not the only person he calls.
No, you're one of the people he called.
By any stretch.
Yeah, President Clinton has
Clintons.
film on speed dial.
Then you start adding it all up. And I've
yeah.
got a personal story. When I was on a retreat, I donated
to meet great people, including President Clinton, who's an amazing person because he shares the characteristics of great charismatic leaders. He's totally in the moment.
So that's a good video right there. So I said, that's where I said the Bill Clinton with Tony Robbins speed dial. This is the Ashton Kutcher thing I was talking about. He's wearing a Freemason hat. He's got the red band of Kabbalah wearing there. This is Ashton Kutcher's Thorn organization. Here's the board of directors of the weird organization that Tim Ballard's connected to. The Afghanistan World Connection. We got Henry Kissinger, Dianne Feinstein. Those two are pretty much, if those two are on your board of directors, it's bad. We got Tim Ballard right there. All sorts of actors. Yeah. So very suspicious.
This is for you.
Got a meme. Oh yeah, and here's the video I was explaining in my first podcast. of Glenn Beck,
the generation
of Glenn Beck talking with Tim Ballard, this is what the secret societies and Mormon Church are trying to push onto the nation. Listen carefully.
of the founders, and George Washington and the founders made a covenant with God, and it is the reason why we were founded, why we were protected, and why Israel was established. Now, Timothy Ballard has a
looks like he has
out the covenant, and it is a theory that you're not going to get anyplace else. You're probably one of the very few, besides David Barton and me, that get teary-eyed talking about this stuff.
I get emotional. And then what
that ring right there, boy? I'm telling you,
happens. It's not over yet. George Washington comes out and takes his oath, raises his arm.
Listen to what he says. I think he's really about to say raising his arm to the square, but he says this instead.
In the fashion of a covenant maker,
right?
And places his hand on the Bible, but not just on the Bible, but in the Bible. Where he placed his hand told the
is only important to a Knights Templar, aka, or like Freemason, in my opinion, allegedly.
World and the nation that he understood the covenants of Israel, and that he understood this covenant had been imported by the founders into the United States of America.
So there you go.
And I think they're brothers. And he wears a whole lot of skull and bones, this one here. Oh, Glenn Becky. Yeah. And so it makes me wonder if he's in Skull and Bones too, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. They don't just hand that kind of info out.
And then, yeah, like I said, the government of the United States is no way in any sense founded on Christianity. You just have to look at the Treaty of Tripoli, where that's literally what they implemented in the law. I talked about all this in my podcast.
I actually found a Jesuit oath that I read. It's on my channel, and it is devastating to read how they think about us meaning Gentiles, meaning not elites. Okay.
But yeah, like I don't want to get super into it. Here's the video I started out with, where they talk about the financiers, Carlos Slim and John Paul DeJoria.
Carlos Slim,
and we got
Carlos Slim was the wealthiest man in the world. So whenever I said that, oh my God, that's who bankrolled Sound of Freedom, like you can't, there's nobody above that, like, okay, reach the ceiling, I'm like Lil Wayne, no ceilings, motherfucker, no ceilings. But I mean, he's part of them too, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. So now I've been working my way down and filling in the context of all the people underneath Carlos Slim. Carlos Slim is not the wealthiest man in the world now, but he was. And I mean, really, it's that close of a pissing contest. I mean, they're all in the same bucket, in my opinion.
Slim close to the Rothschilds. So we got Slim here and the Rothschilds right there. And here's the video of Trump talking about Carlos Slim.
Largest shareholder in the Times is Carlos Slim. Now, Carlos Slim, as you know, comes from Mexico. He's given many millions of dollars to the Clintons and their initiative. So Carlos Slim, largest owner of the paper from Mexico. Reporters at the New York Times.
I remember the New York Times did a story on the females who have alleged abuse claims against Tim Ballard and OUR and others. And so I'm like, oh, I'm trying to, Carlos Slim owns it, So it's like, who's screwing who? And like, because it's like wars. It's like battles against one another. They're all elite, but they all like love to throw and compete. They love to throw mud on everybody else, and they love to compete with one another. And it's really, I've got to say, that's probably the most disgusting and the most fascinating thing about this whole thing is just watching them throw poo at one another. And you're just like, oh my God, they are so dramatic. And so I'm telling you, if you would take this is my opinion now. Okay. This is Crush talking. It's me, Crusher. Okay. I'm saying if you would remove all of them and put them on their own island, I think crime would go down more than 15% or more. Okay. I think it would go way down. I think that they are behind a lot of crime, and that's just me. So, take it or leave it. My mind is always open for change.
They're not journalists. They're corporate lobbyists for Carlos Slim and for Hillary Clinton.
So there you go. Carlos Slim, Trump talking about him, talking about how he knew he was the largest shareholder of New York Times since like 2016. So he knew something was up with him. And there's the photo of Mel Gibson and Carlos Slim, Carlos Slim's son. A lot of people in my Telegram chat keep telling me, oh, it's Carlos Slim's son that's financing the film. It doesn't matter. Same family, same money. Doesn't matter. Carlos Slim, whatever his son's names are, Slim. It doesn't matter. Same family. Okay. So here we go. I just went over everything from the first podcast because we're at Tim Ballard's.
Oh,
so
no.
This is the actual
I think they kill each other.
Including Timothy Ray Ballard.
Thank you.
Who got convicted in Arkansas, right? So there's the photo of him, date of birth 1970.
See, like, I'm not, look, I'm like, this is going a little too far. But then I'm like, you know what, though? I don't know. And so until then, until I know definitively, then it's up. It's on the table, So it is fascinating, though. I'm just saying
November
what he's about to do.
1970. So this, in my opinion, this is the real Tim Ballard. Okay. The one that we all know and love.
Mm-hmm.
Not love, but no. And so here's the video of the overlay.
Okay. I don't know if you guys can see. I got the fucking chills right now. I want to show you guys something. Shit is seriously freaking me out. Okay. Everybody's talking about this Tim Ballard guy, and I just happen to have a little bit of Photoshop skills because I use it for work. I want to show you guys something.
Thank you again.
I found it. This is just blowing my mind. Watch this. Okay, let's adjust this layer. Watch how well this lines up. My hands are like shaking because this shit's freaking me out, dude.
I agree with you on my way to 808.
They line up fucking perfect. Even his shoulders line up. Look, even his shoulders line up. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to put his layer on top and we're going to adjust the opacity.
I mean, look at the little indentation in between the eyes and everything. That's where I'm like, oh,
the nose, the mouth, the eyes, the ears, the jawline. Even his chin looks the same. Look, butt chin. He's got a little split right there. Bald head. Look, even his hairline. What the fuck? This is 100% the same fucking person. I don't care what you say. I'm telling you, that is the same person. Oh, but his eyes are blue now. He wears contacts. He dyed his hair blonde. Come on, guys. Come on. I did the same thing for Biden.
Big tech is furious. This tiny $40 sticker exists.
I was skipping
it
on,
blocks
but...
Exact
from phones.
Oh, shit.
Different person. And I can show you that too as well in a different video. I'm just showing you guys, this is the exact same person. Everything lines up. I mean, like to have a match like that genetically with somebody else is like 1 in a million or a billion. It's like literally impossible.
Didn't do it genetically,
like I said, I'm pretty much set on the fact that that's the same person. I will argue it to the death.
Okay, so that was the video that convinced me it was the same person. And if you watch that video and you're still like, there's no way, then, just open your eyes. So, okay. And here's the photo. Okay. So this is the guy in the photo, right? That he just explained, the real Tim Ballard, in my opinion. And then this is the guy that if you go look for articles and look for a video of that Arkansas Tim Ballard thing, this is the guy that replaced him.
Arkansas,
right? Or the guy that's acting as him. So in my Telegram, I'm like, okay, well, look, what's your opinion, right?
Okay. They're saying that they overlaid, like we just watched, they overlaid this picture. Oh, crap. With the other Tim Ballard from Arkansas. Okay. And it matches up, in this person's opinion, perfectly. We'll watch it one more time. See this Tim Ballard right here? Timothy Ray Ballard, Arkansas, SA, blah, blah.
including Timothy Ray Ballard, who got convicted in Arkansas, right? So there's the photo of him, date of birth 1970, November 17th, 1970. So this, in my opinion, this is the real Tim Ballard, okay? The one that we all know and love.
Look, whenever that ad comes up, I'm just going to let it play.
but no.
So I don't mess
So
with
here's the video of the overlay.
Okay. I don't know if you guys can see. I got the fucking chills right now. I want to show you guys something. Shit is seriously freaking me out. Okay. Everybody's talking about this Tim Ballard guy, and I just happen to have a little bit of Photoshop skills because I use it for work. I want to show you guys something.
God.
I found it. This is just blowing my mind. Watch this. Okay, let's adjust this layer. Watch how well this lines up. I can't. My hands are like shaking because this shit's freaking me out, dude. Okay, watch this. They line up fucking perfect. Even his shoulders line up. Look, even his shoulders line up. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to put his layer on top and we're going to adjust the opacity. The nose, the mouth, the eyes, the ears, the jawline.
The thing between the brow, though.
Even his chin looks the same. Look, butt chin. He's got a little split right there. Bald head. Look, even his hairline. What the fuck? This is 100% the same fucking person. I don't care what you say. I'm telling you, that is the same person. Oh, but his eyes are blue now. He wears contacts. He dyed his hair blonde. Come on, guys. Come on. I did the same thing for Biden.
Big tech is furious. This tiny $40 sticker exists. It blocks harmful radiation from phones.
And a few years ago, and he's a different person, and I can show you that too as well in a different video. I'm just showing you guys, this is the exact same person. Everything lines up. I mean, like to have a match like that genetically with somebody else is like 1 in a million or a billion. It's like literally impossible. Like I said, I'm pretty much set on the fact that that's the same person.
And the
I will argue it to the death.
Okay, so that was the video that convinced me it was the same person. And if you watch that video and you're still like, there's no way, then, you know, just open your eyes. So, okay. And here's the photo. Okay. So this is the guy in the photo, right? That he just explained, the real Tim Ballard, in my opinion. And then this is the guy that if you go look for articles and look for a video of that Arkansas Tim Ballard thing, this is the guy that replaced him, right? Or the guy that's acting as him. So in my Telegram, I'm like, okay, well, look, what's your opinion, right? They are completely different people. And I like, this is the funny part. Look at all my comments. This is the funniest part here. This is the best part. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Okay. Same guy. I'm like, chin is way different. Right? Okay, I got some people saying completely different, which is you're actually thinking, it's this kind of info that gives the whole truth movement a bad name. It's just...
Says the guy that's named John Birch. I just noticed that.
Shut up, John.
Shut up, John Birch.
Same person. This guy right here. This guy's I like this guy. I'm not gonna hate on him, but same person. Yeah. So I got a bunch of people saying that they were the same person and the same guy. See, a lot of people just saying same. Like they're not even looking. They don't even care. This guy's different. Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
You know, that's not too far off from Arthur Knight, aka Rossi, Nicholas Rossi. So when you really think he was like, no, I'm not Nicholas Rossi. I faked my death. Just saying, kind of, it's not too far of a stretch when you look at it that way. Whiteboard meeting.
But yeah, anyways, let me get back. How do I get back? There we go. Okay. All right. So we're caught up. So that's all the information I described in my podcast right here, which I released on July 9th. So like 5 days ago. But the thing was, I like I explained already,
Good advice.
A ton of people were saying, do this in video format. I want to see the proof. I want to see the videos. I want to hear them. So, this is going to be most likely my first Rumble video. And this is all like, I'll mainly do Rumble videos if I really want to show you guys the sauce and show you guys exactly what,
come on, sauce.
I'm trying to show. So, yeah, let's see here. Okay.
See, I don't know who Greg Phillips is.
So this is new information. All right. For those of you that listen to my podcast, that's great. But this is all new information right here. Okay. So we have a Greg Phillips connection to Tim Ballard.
I mean, to that. Okay. Let's just entertain this for a minute. Or that was in 2010. So did Tim Ballard just turn more in and recreate create a new life? Like a new persona, and then that's why he comes out. It's like a Manchurian Candidate. I swear, I already thought about that. Anyways, it's like they tried this with Mitt Romney, in my opinion, to get him to become president, so they could. The Constitution's hanging by a thread, whatever, and they could save the world, and they could make us their slaves. Make us their bitch, basically. I mean, right, but. Tim Ballard, let's see, Visions of Glory was written and published in about 2012. John Pontius died the same year that it was published. Interesting, huh? And then Tom banks on that because he's like, well, I don't own the book rights to Visions of Glory, so therefore it's out of my hands, guys. I use the name Spencer, and, I don't want to be anybody's guru, but yet here he is being a guru. Let me turn my air off. Okay. And so then Tim Ballard comes on the scene. Well, actually, Julie Rowe, let's see, right? All this, because it's like a timeline, right? Of when all these, at least in my opinion, that in this movement, okay, Julie Rowe came out about the same time around, well, actually 2015. Tim Ballard started OUR. Actually, I remember this because it's so horrendous. November 13th, 2013. So there's that. Which is interesting. But it's like this was the game plan, I believe, from the church down, to maybe infiltrate. I don't know. But I mean, that kind of lines up, with what Love Always is saying.
And so for those of you that don't know, I dug information up on Greg Phillips as well. And I found out that he's got a pretty nefarious past. So the connection is between the connection that makes Greg Phillips and Tim Ballard connect is Craig Sawyer. So for those of you that don't know Craig Sawyer, let me go back to my old post of him. So Craig Sawyer is this guy. So he was protection detail for True the Vote. So he knows Greg Phillips and Catherine personally. Okay. So there's Greg.
No.
There's
He's Mormon through.
So he was Hillary Clinton's bodyguard, and he admits to be involved in child trafficking moving across the border. He talks about how, child trafficking, all that stuff. But the thing about him, you have to realize when we did digs into Greg Phillips, is he's connected to not only he was a personal bodyguard for the Clintons, but he was also a personal bodyguard for McCain.
That's interesting because I have a photo of Jason Mao and his two kids at looks like a dinner. Looks like one of those dinners I've seen when I watch footage of Maria Abramovich, okay? Where they got like the people laying out and Diddy, like Diddy stuff. Anyways, that kind of weird shit. But anyway, I'll have to find that. Let me see if I can find it while that's playing.
Rumsfeld and even Sean Penn. Okay, his daughter made like a tweet, and it said, "I can't believe my dad is best friends with Sean Penn." And if you guys know Sean Penn, he's like super into humanitarian efforts, especially when Haiti was going down. So yeah.
Found it.
So let's
All
go back.
right, for once.
So
okay, pause. Oh shit! Now I gotta find the window. Okay, here we go. There it is. See what I'm saying? They look like they just had a feast, if you know what I'm saying. That's his daughter. That's his son, McCain. Laura whore. Oh my gosh. I was not angry. Let's see. Let me go back to this one. Okay, so there's that.
Keep that in mind. We have Craig Sawyer, right, connected to Greg Phillips. Now let's watch this video right here. Craig Sawyer created a film called Contraland, and in the film it has Tim Ballard and Operation Underground.
You're not getting Huggy Bear comment? Huh.
What people need to know first and foremost regarding
I'm a bullshitter.
is that
So there you go.
is-
That's all I wanted to show you. Like, he's in the film, right? So we got that connection.
Oh my god.
Here. So now.
Thank you, Dad.
So just keep in mind, I'm going to be going all over the place. I'm going to be, it's not all this information I found on my Telegram isn't very organized, but this is just raw information. So if I'm bouncing around to one guy, to another guy, to another topic, to this topic, it's just, this is the information that was dropping on my channel that everyone was digging on at the same time. So, just bear with me here, but you're going to find out a lot of interesting stuff about these guys.
Yeah.
So I ended up finding this information on Breb's channel, but they didn't actually go to the website and do like a nice little circle or square around it. So in the square, we have Timothy Blaine Ballard, Paul Hutchinson, and Sean David Reyes, and they are considered Knights Templar. And this is the official like Knights Templar website that has these guys. And this is an article that's stating that these guys were like, they got initiated in 2015. So this little cross here next to their name means they're legit Knights Templar.
They took oaths, and not just the ones in the temple, if you know what I'm saying. And it's all about the covenant and the founding fathers and yada yada yada. Which, I mean, a lot of the Mormon temple endowment ceremony is based upon Freemasonry anyways. So tokens, grips, all that stuff. It is so crazy. And because I learned it from the bottom up too, like I didn't know any of this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, wow.
All these guys.
You have to learn about all this stuff because they're into everything, every freaking thing.
And this brings up another point. So you guys remember the middle name in the, in the photo of the police report. So this is Timothy Blaine Ballard, and the police report, the middle name's different. So a lot of people that have been trying to, convince me otherwise that it's a different Ballard. I just say, well, you have to think about it this way. Tim Ballard was in the government. He was a special agent. It was most likely a big cover-up. They changed his middle name. They changed the guy. They added a cover-up story. And so you're probably asking why. Well, why don't they just change his whole name, right? Well, it's because they wanted to tie Ballard with, they wanted to tie him to being an ex-government employee that worked at child trafficking. Timothy Ballard, they wanted to tie that Timothy Ballard to Operation Underground Railroad, right? They wanted people to be like, oh, okay, so this guy is like super government special agent Tim Ballard. Oh, he's running this organization, and so he already had a name for himself, but he got caught for sex offense. He's a sex offender. But so how are they gonna create something so people don't really dig into, him being a sex offender? Well, let's change up the middle name. Let's do a cover-up story with a random dude that looks just like him, right? It's easy. Like, that was the government cover-up for sure. But the thing also, like I said, there's Paul Hutchinson, who's an executive producer for the Sound of Freedom, who also used to work for Timothy Ballard in Operation Underground.
This common kitchen trick reverses diabetes in seconds. Try this strange 10-second sugar hack to reverse high blood sugar.
Ray's Attorney General of Utah.
But did you?
Sean David Ray is Attorney General of Utah, and they're all buddies. Those three are all buddies. Like, he really promotes Operation Underground. Like, he's a big investor as well, and he does a lot of cover-upping for them as well. So they're all Knights Templar. Boom. And now I bring back Greg Phillips, because if you guys remember this tweet, this is Greg saying Templar Code of Honor. Like, why even put that in his not tweet, but truth? It's because he's most likely a Knights Templar. So there you go. This is an email I got from someone talking about their feelings about the Sound of Freedom and how they feel about it. He said it felt like the makers of this movie were flaunting to us how huge and impossible it would be in trying to dismantle this network. Even Tim Ballard only got 2 kids after giving it his best try.
And I think
also,
they're just
how they are so huge they can actually show you what they are doing, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just like what they're doing in the U.S. government, Biden puppet idiots holding offices that actually are not qualified. They played the public by hyping up this movie to red pill the public and convince people something is being done by others so they can relax. But in actuality, it was a ploy to make money and taunt the public.
Yeah.
And I asked them, I'm like, can I post your email on my Telegram? And he said, sure. So I got information about the OUR grants. So these are their grants here. So you can see there's a bunch of adoption expenses.
Which is scary.
Adoption services, humanitarian services, kind of sketchy. Someone did a dig into child help, which was a good dig. I haven't done a dig into really any of these yet, but I wanted to post them here just in case the connection does come up. Here's more adoption services and stuff like that. And here's another, but I found one interesting thing. Kenosha Police Department, right? Kenosha. That's where that kid shot that Antifa member in 2020. I forget his name. And so most likely Kenosha is super corrupt because they let that stuff happen, right? In Kenosha, like Kenosha got destroyed, and it was most likely the police just sat there and did nothing. So they're corrupt. And then we have more. I did a little digging into this racing for orphans with Down syndrome. Because that's their biggest grant, $1 million.
Oh my God.
Their adoption expense. They're connected to Disney.
Nope.
I found that out. And it's just
that's a double connection then, because Elder Ballard, he's also connected to Disney, and like Bob Hope also, and Art Linkletter. I always mess his name up. Lynn Packer reported on that, which is interesting.
When you go to
it goes back generations. It's generational, y'all.
Any of these websites, they're all pretty sketchy. Like
this also, the adoption thing reminds me of that Mormon. He was a tax assessor in Arizona in Maricopa County, and his name was something Peterson. And oh my gosh, we'll have to go over that one day, because I don't remember enough to even talk about it right now, but it had something to do with the Polynesian islands having some women, that were pregnant and adopting their babies out. And he was like, they're middlemen. They act as middlemen. The church, in my opinion, acts as a middleman to everyone's spiritual salvation, so to speak. And Tim Ballard does it as a middleman between, we'll provide the grants and the funding, and we'll provide the, in the OUR to do the ops. We will not actually save any children, but we'll donate to the people that claim to, and it's just money laundering, in my opinion, allegedly, and it looks like it. Just saying, they always somebody's middleman. Mark Peterson, maybe? I don't remember his first name.
Crap. How do I get out of here?
Super creepy. Adoption scam, though.
How do you get out of here?
Right? Very carefully.
No, I just hit X. Hit X. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. I haven't done, like I said, I haven't done any digging, but if you go to any of these websites, they're all kind of like any child trafficking, adoption service website, and you're just kind of like sketched out by it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crap. I did not mean to press that.
You're in trouble.
Okay. We are, there's a lot of information I'm going to go through, so bear with me. This is going to be a long video, I think. So just bear with me. See, all this information I'm going to show you. You're getting a sneak peek. Okay. So this guy right here, his name is Vicente Fox. This is Ballard with Vicente Fox. He was the president of Mexico from 2007 to 2000 to 2007.
Think of the cartels,
during,
y'all.
George Bush era. Tim Ballard is directly connected to him. I was able to find this quote right here on the OUR website. It said, that desire led Verestugui introducing Ballard to Vicente Fox. And the Verestugui is the guy that's in the film that plays Paul Hutchinson, Sound of Freedom. But the thing is this is the link right here that you have to go to get this quote, and it'll give you a 404 error. So I'll just prove that to you right now. See?
Okay, and while he's proving that to you right now, I want to show you something that I've been wanting to share with y'all. And I mean, it's just for, just put a pin in it. So this is from the Chandler police documents, and it's a conversation between Lori and Jason Mao. And it sounds very similar to whenever Lori made up the whole KK Walker email account and then gave Chad an alibi. So I carried this over. It said, "Hi, Lori," from Jason Mao. "Thank you for those kind words. I will pass your info along to a lady named Melanie Gibb, who is the point of contact for a lot of the stuff we do. Also, you and Nicole Earl might want to check out this website, preparingapeople.com. There's a big expo in November, which is when her and Chad ended up being sealed, in Mesa for like-minded people." And this is that code phrase that I've seen time and time again, that they've said time and time again, especially on AVAL. You can find, like, I'm looking for like-minded people. Everybody like-minded people. Like-minded people, it's crazy. And he says, and you all should come. Great speakers and events. And I just, again, it's nothing big, but I'm just throwing it in there, how it just kind of, they recruit one another. Was Lori looking? Had she been looking since Joe Ryan, to wax off, basically annihilate her family and have a buy-in to the New World Order thing, to the New Jerusalem, I'll say, Zion.
But I was able to get this quote because it was on the search engine that I use, and it was on the little scrap, the little web scrap that the search engine leaves for the website, and it was able to pick up the information because the search engine was scrapped the website before they deleted that web page. So it sounds like something they want to hide, right? But I was able to get it because, what can I say? And this, if you guys don't know Vicente Fox, this is his interview in 2016 right here. Here we go. I'll play it.
I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall.
He's talking about Donald Trump.
I'm not going to pay for the
when Donald Trump say build the wall. This guy comes on, does an interview and it says, I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall, right?
No, not fucking wall.
He should pay for it.
He should pay.
He's got the money. If you got,
are you afraid that he's going to be the
I
next
don't want it
president?
because that shit's funny. Okay.
That comes on, does an interview, and it says, I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall, right?
Sorry.
he should pay for it.
He should pay.
He's got the money. If you got,
are you afraid that he's going to be?
Oh, I didn't go back for him. Damn it.
Vicente Fox.
Okay.
This is
one more
his
time.
interview in 2016 right here. Here we go. I'll play it.
I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall.
He's talking about Donald Trump. When Donald Trump say build the wall, this guy comes on, does an interview,
pay for it,
and says, I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall, right?
He should pay for it.
He should pay.
He's got the money. If you got,
are you afraid that he's going to be the next president of the United States? What would that mean? What would that mean for Mexico?
No, not at all. Democracy cannot take us to crazy people that doesn't know what's going on in the world today. It worries me this last caucus in where was it? Nevada?
Nevada.
In Nevada.
He won 44% of the Hispanic
44% of Hispanics. I'd like to know who those Hispanics are because they, again, they're followers of a false prophet. And he's going to take him to the desert. And if they think that they will benefit with an administration led by Donald Trump, they're wrong. They must open their eyes. Please, you Hispanics, Latins in U.S., open your eyes. It's not to defend our race. It's not to defend our creed. It's to defend this very same nation that is hosting you. This nation is going to fail if it goes into the hands of a crazy guy. What is Trump? He's not a Republican. Absolutely not. Those are not the Republican principles. He is not a Democrat. He is just himself. He's egocentric.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, why can't I get my Telegram? There we go. Yeah, so why would this guy, why would Tim Ballard be associated with this guy, right? Who hates Trump? So that's all I wanted to say. He's been Clinton supporter as well. Like him and Bill Clinton are super tight. Super tight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, remember I said that this Vicente Fox guy was introduced to Ballard by Verstughi. So this is the guy that's in The Sound of Freedom, and he is running for the He just announced on July 10th that or I think it was July 9th, and here's the link right here, that he's running for Mexican president. He's running for the Conservative Party leader. He may run for the president of Mexico. And this guy's in the news again because now Trump is saying, I want him part of my administration. So it's like Trump's like calling him out or putting him in the spotlight or something. Like, I don't know what Trump's doing, but this guy, he's all involved in the politics as an actor, which is kind of weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like, what is happening? Why is Trump want this guy in his administration as well? And, you know, he's getting called out. So, yeah, just weird.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So Mira Sorvino, who plays Ballard's wife in the film, she had a couple of kids with Quentin Tarantino.
Uh-oh.
So you can see right here, Quentin Tarantino.
I sometimes thank God I got herpes. Let me explain.
What?
I had herpes for 5 years, and this is how I got rid of it. When I first...
So glad.
Also in the film.
Said no one ever.
Yeah, let me just bring this back to maximize. There we go.
They do, I know.
So yeah, Quentin Tarantino is not in the film, but this girl's in the film, Ballard's wife. She had a couple of kids with Quentin Tarantino. Interesting. Also, Eduardo Verstughi endorsed John McCain 2008. We all know John McCain's called No Name McCain. So
why? I don't know why.
Yeah,
why?
He was he got popular because he was in Mexican soap operas in like 2006.
Again, just gonna drop that there. Okay. Just again, that's Jason Mel. That's wait, am I saying the right thing? That's John McCain. That's who he was just talking about, right? Because don't he have that thing the McCain Institute or something in Arizona, and deals with Ashton Kutcher and I think Marisol Nichols and others. Right? See, I'm still learning. Okay. I'm not scared to tell you that. Okay, now I'm trying to find my way back to the damn thing. Okay. Verestigi. Eduardo Verestigi. Also a Knights Templar.
Yeah, he's been an actor and he's a very big political activist. I mean, that's already a bad sign. If you're an actor and you're a political activist, not good. So yeah, I talked about Tim Robbins already. And I say,
well, okay,
buddies, like I said, there's
Eduardo Verestigi ran or was going to run for president of Mexico, but obviously, I don't know if he did or not. But there's a lady that's president right now, and that makes me wonder too. I forget, I don't remember, y'all, but maybe somebody knows if Carlos Slim was ever president of Mexico. And you got to also Carlos Slim. I mean, he's the major wireless carrier. Crap, I can't think of it. TrackPhone is even one of his gigs. I'm like, well, isn't that something? Lori and Chad loved TrackPhones.
Political activist. I mean, that's already a bad sign. If you're an actor and you're a political activist, not good. So yeah, I talked about Tim Robbins already. And I say they're good buddies. Like I said, there's another picture.
Mexican Tom Cruise.
Dude, why is this thing like all over the place?
Oh, now you're gonna make me do it.
So there's Tim Robbins and or Tony Robbins and Tim Ballard. They're buddies. But also we have Oprah and Tony Robbins were very close because in 2012 Robbins began
it's Tim
co-hosting Oprah's Life class on the OWN network. We all know Oprah's bad news. She was connected to that John the God or God the John God Brazilian like child rapist in Brazil or whatever. She was like close with him, and super sketchy. Tony Robbins connected to them too. And let me show you this YouTube clip. So this is like
oh my God,
Oprah introducing Tony Robbins onto her show.
Life-changing breakthroughs.
So Tony Robbins has like a cult. Like his cult they're literally insane.
Come from all walks of life.
Like they're obsessed with Tony. Like this guy thinks Tony's God or something.
Unleash the power within.
Like
is Tony
all these guys are all the people that watch Tony Robbins are like Oprah's fans. Like they're like they worship them.
I'm here for day one, but my team. So here's the deal.
Like I'll show you. I gotta see a clip.
First, Tony Robbins.
They're all dancing and like they're so weird.
All of that is that Tony Robbins.
Oh yeah, here it is. Look at this clip. Look at that. Why are those people that crazy?
Because he's a magician, a hypnotist.
President Clinton,
nope.
Award-winning actor.
He's friends with all these actors.
And tennis champion Serena Williams are just a few of the people who turn to Tony for his secrets and strategies.
It's not candy. It's William.
Tony exploded onto the self-help scene in the late
self-help,
80s.
like already a bad sign.
Night infomercials.
We have a technology here that really is unique and different. It's simple and it
produces. So he was on Oprah's little thingy, right? On her show. So yeah, there you go. And then I'm talking about Ben Carson now. Because this tweet from Trump, it said Dr. Ben Carson is a big fan of this movie, and I'm a big fan of Ben. He asked me to post this because he thought it was so good. So that kind of got some people to thinking maybe that's Trump calling out Ben, or who knows what Trump's doing. So people found out a connection between Ben Carson and Tim Ballard. So we got Tim Ballard, Ben Carson, and I think that is Ben Carson's husband. I mean, wife.
I don't even know, but I get it. Okay. He's sick, so he made himself cough.
I think I'm not sure. God, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. Okay. So
I'm like, oh my
yeah,
God, I'm
so
going
they're connected through Goya Cares. $2 million pledge to combat child trafficking. Goya announced that Goya Cares.
That's true.
So here's their coalition partners. There's more. There's a bunch of them. There's like 10 of them.
Oh my Lord.
But
Really?
I pointed out 3 of them because I'm making the Ballard connection. So this is Carson's little foundation, American Cornerstone Institute. And that should give you like automatically kind of a sketchy
I used
feeling because
Cornerstone to
Cornerstone
explain
is
Uncle Charles. I did, and I knew it. I was like, I don't want to give the Freemasons anything, by saying Uncle Charles is a cornerstone. I couldn't find anything else, like nothing really. I don't know. Anyways, just crazy. They take everything. They try to
associated with Freemasons,
words and everything.
They put cornerstones in their buildings, in all the buildings they create. They put a Masonic cornerstone to say that's our building, that's us. And what do you know? Ben Carson calls his institute American Cornerstone. So he's deep into masonry. Deep. We also have the guy I just talked about, Eduardo Verastegui.
It's hard,
the producer of The Sound of Freedom. And he has a foundation called the Freedom Humanitarian Project. They're all connected to Goya Cares.
I need to look at that one.
Finally, Operation Underground, founded by Tim Ballard. So there you go. There's the connection between all 3.
Freedom,
right
humanitarian.
I posted a video. Tim Ballard didn't show up to a news report. It's not really big news. Here's very interesting information. So Carlos Slim did deals with Hunter Biden. in 2015. I mean, this is smack dab right around the Ukraine deals and all that.
There you go. Oh, David
now,
Levitt.
that everyone's obsessed with. Carlos Slim was tied directly to Hunter Biden at the same time. There you go. Hunter Biden used Joe's VP perks to pursue deal with Carlos Slim. Right?
Yeah. There we go.
Hunter Biden used the perks of the vice presidency party's meetings with Joe Biden and flights on Air Force 2 to pursue deals with Mexican billionaire Carlos Slim.
Ruh-roh.
There you go.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
There you go. Okay, so now we're going to jump into a different topic, and it's mainly going to be focused around the creators of The Sound of Freedom, who also created The Chosen.
Okay, so I'm just saying, Lori and her damn Chosen. Okay, I'm piping in right here because I suspect mind control. Okay, I don't know how it quite works, but if I were to just ignorantly say, like I am doing right now, that if there was anything that mind controlled her ass in any way, influenced her to do whatever it is that she did, she talks about it all the time. And I say that because the few interviews we've seen of her, unfortunately, she talks about the chosen.
So if you go to the Angel Studios website, this is their most popular products right here. And you'll notice that one of the most popular products is the Larimar Stone. We got
surprised it's not malachite
right here. So that's kind of fishy, right?
Yeah, they're selling that.
The thing about it is Larimar can only be found in the Dominican Republic, which is right next to Haiti. Right? We got Haiti, Dominican Republic. So we got Larimar coming from the Dominican. But the thing about the stone, guys, is modern day witches and pagans consider Larimar part of the 5th chakra and can be used to help open their 3rd eye.
That's not all.
And I got that information directly from the pagan and witches
RS.
little page where they got 350,000 members, and they talk about Larimar is not a traditional birthstone, and Larimar is a seeker harmonizer crystal. It can be used as an amulet or talisman. So magic, occultists, pagans, witches, the cabal, they love Larimar.
The nefarious ones.
All right, we're going back to Tim Ballard. He's very tight with the NFL, ESPN, and Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Joe. Joe Schmo. This will perk your ears up.
Sorry, I'm drinking water. I don't want to cough too much.
NASCAR
My throat's
and
getting a little scratchy,
UFC.
so
Okay.
hopefully I can get all this information in. We'll see. Okay, so here's the clip.
When you buy from guns.com, you're not just purchasing a
There was one commercial. I had to go to the bathroom, so what happened? Oh, okay. I'm like, what the hell? All right, hold on. Hold, please. Well, where the hell? Okay, hold on. All right. Till then, I want y'all to listen to this. This is Tim Ballard, How Operation Underground Railroad, whatever. And it's Eternal Core podcast with Ken Krogh, Tom Harrison, and Tim Ballard. Just listen to the subject matter.
I love the aspect of when Tim and the team go forward to do a rescue, how Tim asked for a group of people to pray or to get on their knees at a certain time. And, maybe you don't want that shared, but it's so significant to be on your knees when you know that there's a
Not
group
that
of
part.
individuals in harm's way
Yeah.
that really need all the help from heaven.
Yes.
And you feel such an amazing part of the team. You're not in Haiti with them. You're not in South America with you, but you are part of that team. And all at once, there's this group of individuals on their knees pleading that the team will be protected, but also that there is help coming to these victims.
I mean, you've had that happen. I mean, with your own family and trying to find your two little kids. And I remember I've got a text from you 3 minutes before, the van doors open and you guys are in harm's way.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
absolutely. Yeah, I love talking about it because we actually encourage people to go to our OURrescue.org and sign up to be a member of our prayer team. Where we send something out.
But listen how Tim talks about
say
this.
where we are or what we're
can.
doing. But it's a powerful thing. And what's interesting is some people say, well, I want to support OUR, but I don't pray. I don't believe in prayer. I even have some team members,
They'll
very
take
few,
your money.
but they don't necessarily believe in that. But again, thanks to Tom's training and what he's taught me, I can go to these guys and say, look, you don't.
Thanks to Tom's training. Okay, that wasn't it. But anyways.
Fine. Maybe you don't believe in it, but let me tell you that there's scientific evidence that when you're on your knees praying, look what happens. Your brain actually releases some amazing chemicals, dopamine and what's
catecholamines and endorphins.
And I need you to have those.
Yeah.
So get on your knees.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, that's fine. You scientifically can prove it.
Right.
See, heaven works through science, right?
Yeah.
Always. So it's those chemicals in my mind is what opens up the veil and allows us to access heaven better. So anyway, just more amazing insight.
Okay, hold on. Now you've seen this one time and time again from me, but just listen.
Times that I served, times that others served me. And all of a sudden, as I just thought about those moments in my life, I was filled with something that I recognized. It was the same thing I recognized when I had gotten off on the freeway, off the off-ramp to go visit this little boy. I felt optimism. I mean, I was in tears. I was just like floating. I felt like I wanted to go run a marathon from his house. I was like, what is this? I felt optimism. I felt courage, unity, these amazing
I think they're talking
What
about
is this? This is
adrenochrome.
It's a chemical reaction. When you give, when you serve, your brain actually releases these amazing chemicals, oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins, serotonin. And it's what, if you're a spiritual person like he is, he says, these are the chemicals God puts in your body that opens up the heavens, that helps you to get past the physical and into the spiritual. But whether you believe that or not, the reaction, the fruit of this is real. So I wanted to do my own research on it, and I found a brain specialist, one of the people that helps us heal the brain of the children who have been traumatized. His name's Tom Harrison, and this is what he says, his research. The research is conclusive. Through ongoing acts of service, charity, thoughts of kindness, and gratitude, the brain releases a powerful cocktail of chemicals, which include oxytocin, endorphins, dopamine, and others. These chemicals, in turn, produce in the recipient positive benefits, which produce higher levels of achievement, increased creativity, positivity, optimism, and unity. Why are these fruits so important? Because you can't teach these things. In your home, to your children, in your businesses, to your employees. Can you go to your employee and say, all right, be creative? I mean, you can say it. Be optimistic. Be a unifier. Be a team unity. You can say it all day long.
I'll be looking for it.
How do I do it? How do I be creative? How do I just do this? You do it by creating the environment in which service is.
You are
is
service.
You encourage your people, your family, to serve others. This is why Tony Robbins is always saying the secret to living is giving. That's his life mantra. And that's why he gives so much, because he'll tell you, I receive way more than I give. I get all these amazing.
Ooh, I just got hung up.
And as I learned this principle, I began to apply it more in my operation.
Okay. All right. So let me get back to the research part. Yeah, Huggy Bear, I would love to read that. Love to.
Ballard, OUR, and Mike Tomlin on ESPN during Monday Night Football.
You probably heard by now that the Steelers have, bring it on, ever want to see.
Football has been great to me, man.
He's doing that, not me.
So
if we can't all come together on something,
okay, let's not spell it out though. That's the only thing. I'm gonna call it Drano. Okay, that's what I'm gonna call it, Drano. I'm just saying. Like, I don't want to get flagged or anything more than I already do, or than we already will. You know.
So
this whole thing is starting to affect you personally a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're a parent, man, you know, how can it send it around doing that? How can it
dramatic
not be?
Music really gets you pulled in.
The world over, man. Just to hear the insert any to people.
He's doing all that.
Okay, they're wearing yellow shirts.
It's my first time in Haiti. I'm honored and humbled to be here.
So let's pause there. We'll go to the next post, because that lady next to Ballard, I talk about her because here's them with the yellow shirts. I got a picture of them. So during the trip, Ballard and Tomlin wore T-shirts that included the Foundation Association Fam Core Fan. So that's the shirts they're wearing, which was founded by Dr. Sabine Martelly in 2005. So that's her right there. She is ex-Secretary of State for Youth of Civil Action of Haiti. She's also the Ambassador of Cultural Affairs of the Vatican. Boom. She represents Haiti at the United Nations during International Women's Day. And here's the source right here, where I got the information. So there she is sitting in the United Nations right there. And the quote, where's the quote? I got the Vatican quote right here. So there it is. That's where I got the information right there. It's like front page, Vatican, United Nations Conference. There's information about it right there. All right. So interesting. All right. Like, so that's the thing. It seems like they're doing good. It seems like they're doing good stuff fighting against child trafficking. But I honestly think what these big like promotions on big TV and like these big, you know, like when they do, like when the Operation Underground does videos of them going into different countries and all this stuff. Honestly, I think that's them like saying to the sexual predators that are out there that are that are funding the sex industry, like the elite and
I gotta show you
the people that are associated with it. It's telling them, go to
Hey,
this
we're cool.
association. This is where the adoption agencies are in other nations. Use this foundation, use this person, like this guy. As they're probably like, go to this guy, like he'll hook you up with, some children here and there. That is my opinion, like, because
That actually
Tim
makes
Ballard
sense.
constantly says that the child trafficking like the world, right? The child trafficking world organizations, they're constantly, they always are saying how big the industry is. Well, why are they going to third world countries where they go to a hut, right? They go to a little hut and they say, oh, this used to be a child trafficking center. Like, if they're the biggest industry in the world, wouldn't they have like a massive organization somewhere that people could recognize? Yeah, exactly. It's the child trafficking agencies that are hiding behind it. They're just they're pretending to be helpful organizations when they're actually
correct
doing the stuff that they're saying they're protecting it from.
You got me.
All right, now I'm going to start talking about this guy who is John Paul DeJoria. So if you guys remember that clip with Tim Ballard saying that Carlos Slim financed the film, the other guy that he mentioned was John Paul DeJoria right here. And he is a no bueno. He's a no bueno cat. So he signed Bill Gates and Warren Buffett's The Giving Pledge right here. You can see this is a letter. He's the owner and co-founder of Paul Mitchell Hair Care, co-founder of Patron Tequila and Spirits Company, John Paul Pett,
tequila.
RK Mobile.
Tequila.
And this is him saying, my pledge to Warren Buffett and Bill Gates.
Wow.
But we also have more information. He was in South Africa with Nelson Mandela, with Richard Branson, Brad Pitt, a bunch of other celebrities, because they were there for the 4664 Foundation. 46664 Foundation, 666, interesting symbolism. And that circles around Nelson Mandela's foundation. DeJoria also worked with Nelson in the organization Food for Africa in South Africa. Mandela was a globalist communist puppet. His wife's bodyguard accused her of sadistic child torture. Interesting. This is more about John Paul DeJoria. So, like I said, he's the co-founder of Patron Tequila in Mexico. And if you look up the distillery in Mexico, like where it's located and what it looks like.
Anybody? Oh, what the hell? Anybody who followed the Diddy stuff, then, I mean, that's when I learned what the liquor companies were all. I believe that they are money laundering allegedly through tequila companies. And you got to think about that one lady. Her name was Jen, I think. And she was married to a Utah Jazz coach or something. And she was in Salt Lake. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And she owns a tequila company. And I'm just saying, it was just like, it made me think about all that. Yeah, I don't know. It seems right.
Well, this is what it looks like. What does that look like to you guys? That looks like a cartel palace. That looks like something from Scarface. Exactly. Like that probably is the Scarface house.
Say hello to my little.
There you go. He founded it in 1989. And this is they called this the Patron distillery plant, where they actually create the tequila. And this is where it's located right here. You see, it's right smack dab, just east of Guadalajara, Jalisco. Mexico City, kind of a sketchy area. But what people don't know, here's the areas of cartel influence in Mexico. So it's just east, right, in this yellow patch here in Mexico. And look what the cartel's called that has that area, or had, when I was reading, the Knights Templar cartel got kind of split up right around the same time. John Paul de Joria kind of left Patron, the tequila company. He actually sold it to the Bacardi company back in like 2019, I think, or 2018. That was the same time the Knights Templar cartel got like raided, and they no longer exist. But when
What
John
about
Paul
the
de Joria had
Marriott's too?
that area, it was the Knights Templar that ran that area. Knights Templar cartel, which just makes perfect because everyone's a Knights Templar that I've been digging into. It's like, whoa.
There you go.
Crazy. What people aren't aware of is that Mexican drug cartels use tequila to launder money. In 2006, the U.S. Department of Treasury identified 4 tequila companies in Jalisco that were laundering money for the Mexican drug cartels. Jalisco, remember?
There you
right
go.
there. Literally, so there's Patron, there's Jalisco. I mean, they're right next to each other. If we go back to this photo, it was a rival gang of the Knights Templar gang, the Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generacion, right next to each other. So most likely it was like a cartel battle or something. And they mostly ratted out the tequila companies to the United States because they have the Knights Templar connection. That's my guess, but who knows? And then started doing digs into what celebrities own.
Why is nobody talking about this $49 plug?
My electricity bill dropped.
Okay, so that's that one. All right, hold on.
We got Kendall Jenner. She owns that tequila company. We got Eva Longoria owns one. We got Elon Musk owns one. George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, P. Diddy. We all know he's a Cabal member as well.
This is before all that stuff went down. He did this.
More of them I don't have added. LeBron James.
Here we go,
Michael
y'all.
Jordan, The Rock. Those guys also. There's a bunch of them that I couldn't add all of them, but those are like the top ones I could find.
Thank you.
This was just other people digging into. I didn't find this. Holly Clev has been a really good digger for me on my channel, so I just forward this to my main channel. She was trying to find connections with Arizona trade with Mexico.
Arizona. I know.
She found Carlos Slim's connected.
I can't wait.
Arizona, right here.
Wait, and I heard
Carlos
the other day. I heard the other day that. Let me try and get my names. Nathan Rothschild. Oh, I know where I got it. Let me go get it.
Tells the Arizona audience of enormous trade potential. We got Slim was mobbed. So yeah. Nothing there. We got Arizona, Mexico economic indicators. We have train crossings right there.
Train crossings.
I wish
Oh
we
yeah.
could zoom out.
Roads.
Can't really see them. Here are the routes. It looks like right here, the train routes. So yeah, good dig there. Sound of Freemasons, nice little meme. All right, so now we're back to Nelson Mandela. We ended up digging more into that and found out there's more celebrities that are connected to it. And here's a good video of it. It's actually on a kind of a sketchy website called 33 Productions, 33 Degrees.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, watch this video and you'll see this, what the 46664 Foundation's all about.
$46664 is a vital campaign to help fight a tragedy of unprecedented proportions that is claiming more lives than the sum total of all wars.
Quit drinking the blood.
Famine and floods. AIDS is no longer just a disease.
Talking about AIDS.
It is a human rights issue.
Brainwashing the audience. We got Oprah coming up. So Oprah's connected.
And know that there is something that we can do. What will you do?
But it happens right here and now.
Like
I think it happens
rock
with
guitarist.
you, your friends,
Don't forget his name.
your family. It's a change in attitude. You know, we have to care about the world and not just about ourselves. It takes a bit of an effort, but we have to do it, all of us.
Beyonce.
It marks a long-term commitment by my friends in music, business, government, charity, and art across the world to do more by working together to fight this grave threat to our common future.
I've never been to Africa, and I've been aware of what's going on there with AIDS, and it really concerns me, and anything I can do to help.
We can no longer sit on the sidelines and watch AIDS ravage our children and their parents. Now, you as citizens of your country, you can make a difference, but you have to act, and you have to act now. Uniting today can make a better tomorrow.
Everybody's been involved, and they're never going to forget this moment. When they look back, they'll
woman
always remember
here.
that Mandela came to this concert and the significance of what we're trying to do, which is to prevent a genocide.
AIDS is a tragedy that affects us all. Unfortunately.
That's swirly. Yeah.
Okay,
Brad
so
Pitt, swirly Brad Pitt.
on that note, swirly bad Brad Pitt. Well, hold that, because then it made me notice this. Do you see what I see? These are things I didn't know to look for. And now, I mean, since, I'm starting to learn that, I can't enlarge it or make it larger. This, for sure. On top of the pizza stuff I've uncovered. Anyways, it's neither here nor there. But there you go. So I thought that was interesting. Whenever I realized, like, oh my God, no. No. Anyway, so let's go back to here.
The people of Africa most, the females carrying the burden of the disease. The world cannot be allowed to stand by any longer and just watch this disaster continue to unfold. That is why 46664 is so vital. As Mr. Mandela has said, we must act and act now to stand a chance of winning this fight against HIV/AIDS.
Kind of a creepy statue. That's
It's stupid song now.
All right. So that
kinda got
was the
busted.
video. And let's talk about more about 4664. So yeah, the swirly thing you saw was the actual like symbol of the Nelson Mandela Foundation. So you can see it all over the place here. And yeah, so then on my Telegram, I made so I'm noticing a lot of accounts right on Telegram trying to like sorry about that. Damn, I am sick. So yeah, gee, my voice changed. So the thing, like, I'm noticing a lot of accounts on Telegram. They're seeing this sauce come out, right? They're seeing it come out, and
I'm appreciating it.
They're still promoting the sound of freedom.
Yep.
And one of the arguments I saw is that they're saying it's because of the message. Like, support the message of the film. It's important. Support the message. Message is more important than the messenger or whatever. So, okay. That's kind of a stupid argument. So if the Rothschilds financed a child trafficking film, you'd go see it, right? Celebrate with your friends, sing Kumbaya. You'd just be like, yeah, perfect. Right? So I wanted to make it clear on my channel that if you say yes to that, yeah, leave it. Leave my channel. Like, I
like that.
I don't want those type of people in my channel. I want diggers. I want people who are like, look behind the
I'm a
scenes
digger.
and figure stuff out. You know what I mean? So then I was like, no, if you say no, you actually care about the truth. And then it was I know exactly what I'm trying to do because I say, I know exactly what I'm trying to do because I say, by the way, the Sound of Freedom was financed by Carlos Slim, who has made business deals with the Rothschilds. They're very close friends. So I pretty much said, yeah, Sound of Freedom is pretty much financed by the Rothschilds. Same dark money. They're using the same dark money. And if you don't care about it, you're not really an Anna. I don't even know what you are. That's what I'm trying to say. This tweet by Bill Gates is disturbing. We have Bill Gates' dad, who is pretty much the founder of Planned Parenthood, with Nelson Mandela,
Planned
Jimmy
Parenthood.
Carter, all holding black babies. With HIV. It's all just disgusting when you think about what actually is happening behind the scenes, like it's just disturbing.
It is. It really is, y'all.
I did another dig into Mexico, talking about the LDS Church and Mormons in Mexico.
Bring it
how
on.
they are Mexico is the largest body of Mormons outside of the US. And here's a map. So we have city with a temple. We got a bunch right over here. City with one mission HQ. We got a bunch here. Boom, boom, boom. Area administrative center. We got one in Neon Leon in Mexico City. And here's the area, right? That's where the Patron headquarters are. And you can see there's a lot of temples around here. We got temple there.
Welcome back to the Bob and Tom Show.
Dad, you're going to kill me. I left my iPad on my iPad cord.
There. We got one right there. So who knows? Maybe the Melbourne Mormon Church is doing something like suspicious.
Oh, no.
Under, in Mexico.
Everywhere.
That's what I thought about it. And if you guys didn't know, the Romney family comes from these Mexican Mormons. They actually come from the Mexican Mormons. So we have Marion G. Romney and George W. Romney. They were born in Mexico.
That's a whole nother
born there. And the reason the Mormons left America to go to Mexico so they could practice polygamy because the United States prosecute.
I wonder if it was to really just try and infiltrate Mexico as well. Because, they send missionaries everywhere. So I don't know. That kind of sounds dumb now that I said
it. Polygamy. And so they went somewhere they could actually practice it. These were the early Mormons. All right, so now we're talking about Nelson Mandela again and how there's a bunch of photos of him wearing the Knights of Malta. Is it the Malta? Yeah, Knights of Malta. And if you guys don't know who the Knights of Malta
are, digging into that.
Order of Malta is part of the Order of Knights Templar. And they're pretty high up. We got Order Red Cross, Order Malta, Order the Temple at the top here. And Nelson Mandela right here is this was a stamp that was sent out throughout South Africa. I think in the early 2000s.
The Mandela effect.
We got
I don't know.
Other people wearing it. The Queen wearing the Queen of Malta. Here's the 46664 Foundation. We got Knights of Malta magazine. Looks like they're including Nelson Mandela in there. Here's other people that are wearing the Knights of Malta cross. Benito Mussolini, Sammy Davis Jr., who is friends with Anton Levy, the Church of Satan founder. We got a Nazi member wearing in Malta. Queen Elizabeth, I already said. Fidel Castro wearing it. Another Nazi. He was a high-ranking leader, actually. Nelson Mandela. Amstel Rothschild, one of the founding 5 brothers of the Rothschilds, wearing it on his necklace. We got another Nazi wearing it, and I don't know who those guys are.
A mantle.
Okay. So yeah. So the degree of Knights of Malta is conferred in the United States as an appendant order in a commandery of Knights Templar. So another Knights Templar. Interesting. All right, so now I'm doing more digs into Angel Studios, and they also created the show The Chosen, which a lot of Christians follow. And they're the ones that created The Sound of Freedom and The Chosen. And here is the lead actor who plays Jesus. His name's Jonathan Rumi, the actor. Here's a video of him. Just watch.
A mantle and a cross with a little crown on it. A knight's cross. 5 years ago, I was knighted by the order, the Solemn Sovereign Military Order of the Temple of Jerusalem. I lost my mind there for a second.
Knights Templar. He was knighted a Knights Templar.
Essentially, the Knights Templar.
This is crazy. God is telling this story, and we're just trying to find it.
Scully got a brother. Yeah, that's
okay. So as you can see, he's obsessed with skulls as well. Not really Christian, right? Not really Christian. Kind of evil, actually. We'll get that. I actually do a dig into his skulls coming up, so it's coming up.
Don't dig in the skulls. No.
This right here is David Amito, who plays John the Baptist in The Chosen. He created a satanic film called Antrim, right here. And he boasted about it, right? He boasted about it right here. Let me click this. So this is off his Instagram page, David Amito. And he said, also surprising, our little satanic film trends more than Jesus this Easter. Huge thanks. So there's a satanic film. It's just fantastic. There's a nice little one-eye symbolism, Freemasonry. Good job, buddy. Here's another weird thing he does. He made Krampus cookies.
Oh, Krampus.
If you guys don't know Krampus, that is like the origins of Santa Claus. Okay.
I learned about this from Roselle Anderson Hamblin. The Hamblin, that Roselle, her family too, also do this Krampus thing.
That's where the Santa Claus figure comes from. It started with Krampus. And it's just, yeah. And Krampus is just like, literally like, it's Satan, pretty much. Steals the children, and if you want to read up on Krampus, you can do that yourself.
Oh, it's crazy. It destroys Christmas, the rest of it.
And that's David Amito. Okay, so here's the skulls, right? We have skull there. We have he looks like he's good friends with Russell Brand, Controlled Opposition, Russell Brand. This is the photo I want everyone to pay attention to. So in this photo, I know it's hard to see. I don't know how to zoom out here. I wish I knew, but it says Memento Mori. Here's Bill Cooper wearing a skull ring. He's wearing skull rings. People say Bill Cooper's Christian. You guys are crazy. He is part of the same group of these people, part of the same cabal group.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a better view. You can see it says Memento Mori here on his shirt. So Memento Mori is a Latin phrase. When translated, means remember that you must die.
It's a covenant of death.
Good job.
Anyway, so.
Great shirt. Within Freemasonry, the skull and crossbones are typically on the 3rd degree tracing boards with many Masonic jurisdictions. It is a prominent feature within the Knights Templar and Kadosh degrees of the York and Scottish rites. And Memento Mori is tied up with all this stuff too.
We'll make it till the end of this right here.
So, all right. Now I'm doing more digs into John Paul DeJoria. He's got more organizations, right? So,
oh my God, this is gonna be good. Oh my God, this is the crazy part.
Tied to this organization called Baby to Baby. Okay, and also Center for Child Protection, Dream Foundation, Austin Children's Shelter.
Dream Foundation. That ain't good.
So there we go. Look who it is. Look who it is, guys. Eduardo Verestughi, the guy that I've been talking to. He's literally in the Sound of Freedom. He's the one that introduced Tim Ballard to the Vicente Fox guy. He voted for John McCain. Now look, he is friends with John Paul DeJoria, the guy who financed Sound of Freedom, right? The guy that has the tequila plant in Knights Templar territory, or had. Oh, look who it is. Mel Gibson. They traveled somewhere together. It looks like Mexico. Looks like a Mexican pyramid probably behind them. Yeah, so we got Eloise and John Paul DeJoria, Center for Child Protection, Austin Children's Shelter, Eloise and John Paul DeJoria, Dream Foundation, there they are again. Accentuated one-eyed teddy bear. This isn't my digging, but I stole this from someone. And there's the baby to baby thing, and I'm going to talk about that now. So baby to baby is directly connected to John Paul DeJoria because his daughter, his son, his daughter's son, his man-child's daughter.
I spent $3,000 on physical therapy last year for.
So that's it on that one. And I don't want to keep going because I'm tired. And so I think we'll have to do this again with the rest of it, which is interesting as all get out. So yeah, I've been going way long on these things and I'm trying. Yeah, we've watched this one before. We sure have. And at the very end of it, he drops the bomb on us that Paul Hutchinson has all these Y chromosome parties. And we're like, what's a Y chromosome party? You know? Oh, crap. I just heard a boop. Okay, yeah. So we'll just, let's see. Let me go backwards on this. And so tomorrow we have, or whenever, 33 minutes, appropriate number, 33 minutes, 50 seconds left. I just want to. I'm trying to. I think it's. We do. That are still propping them up. Yes. Here we go. God dang it. Gracious. Oh, I'm not showing it. Okay, hold on. My bad. I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry.
Events every year.
Okay, let me.
Children.
I'm so sorry.
He watched child porn and like snuff films to get into character for a movie that opened #1 at the box office, led to 0 arrests. He has 3 adopted kids from China and a very bizarre wife.
Oh, let me
His
scooch
wife
up
looks
a
like a
little
man
more.
if you haven't seen her.
I've
The whole
never
thing is
seen her.
insane. So this is Paul Hutchinson.
There we go.
Executive producer of Sound of Freedom. He hosts Y chromosome parties with
Oh, God.
celebrities. So
Y
watch, look at
chromosome
this.
parties with celebrities.
So this is his personal website right here. We host 10 to 15 events every year with 150 people or more attending.
Back to you.
Everything from Halloween parties, 300 plus attendees in a year, supercars, charity fundraisers, or Y chromosome parties.
Or
what in the world is that?
Chromosome.
Sounds sketchy. What in the world is Y
AF.
chromosome party? So here's a
That was the biggest, like, what? Like the record scratching, you know, and you're just like, what? Jimmy and Tim have to watch Epstein videos to know how they were realized, right? They're like, oh, I want to do it how he's doing it. He's getting more victims than me. You can't spell victim without Tim, in my opinion, allegedly. Right. Sorry about that. Sorry I went ghost on y'all. It wasn't intentional. Thought y'all were right there with me the whole time. But anyways, okay, so we'll stop there and well, God dang it. Batting a 1,000 right now. Anyways, okay. All right. Maybe I don't know if Joe wants to get into this Tuesday, but if not, then yeah. Yep. But they don't exist, right? I'm telling you, I bet you Tylee and JJ have one. Just saying. Just stating the elephant in the room, you know. Anyways, y'all take care of yourselves because it's heavy, this stuff. But it's also, if you didn't know this, then it's confirming things that you are already feeling, you know, I believe. And it did for me. I was just like, well, there you go. That's the rest of the story. At least a good gist of it in the right direction. It's the elites and there's no boundaries. It knows no race, sex, creed, you know, it's makes as many victims as possible in my opinion. But let me stop doing that and let me do this and we'll end on this allegedly. All right. Love you guys. Justice for Tylee, Trolls, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Love always wins.
Anarchy is loosed upon the world. Blood dim tide is loosed.
Oh, I have that to share. Oh my gosh.
The ceremony of innocence is drowned.
I will share that. I got your email, Huggy, and I got your email to Angela. She found it, the one with Ed Smart and my parents. Okay. So I copied and pasted the link into my Canva app so that whenever we go and talk about this again, I will share it there. Thank you so much for finding this. I haven't seen it since. It's been a very long time. And it's just interesting. Network. Want to know. I'm curious. All right. Let me go back to here. And yeah, so not another second coming.
The best lack all conviction.
Let me pass this part.
Indignant desert. I know that 20 centuries of last.
Okay, it's about to be loud.
Towards Bethlehem to be born.